Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed. Life well lived. This is your home for Arizona basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Uzan, back and forth dribble, now matched up on Awaka, drives on him, runner up and good for Uzan, and he has been the offense in the second half of the Cougars. They lead it by 4.
Well, it looked good for a while. Arizona battled in that first half of the game, had a 5-point lead at the intermission, but Houston did what Houston does. They just know how to close out games. They know how to finish games. They know how to get the shots they want when they want them, and they know how to defend when it's time to defend. And the Houston Cougars are the regular season champions of the Big 12 Conference. They are the tournament champions of the Big 12 Conference. 72-64, the final today in Kansas City. Your Wildcats fall to the number 2 team in the country. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at the number. They slid the game a little bit because of other games going on today, so a little bit of a later start for the game as well as for our show. But we'll probably take you till about 8 o'clock this evening. I've got my guys here. We've got Kelvin Efon. He is the captain. We've got J.W. Madden as well. Kelvin, we'll start with your top takeaways from this game today.
Yeah, man, just a battle, man. I mean, Arizona came in, gave Houston everything that they could handle. Houston just a veteran team that understands how to play. Been playing that way the whole time. I just feel like, though, that I remember saying to myself, I said, Arizona beats 92% of the teams in the country with that effort that they put out today. So they got something to go back and talk to each other about, and they can talk to each other how they let it slip away. I heard Caleb take accountability for turning the ball over late in the game right there. But more than anything, I think better defense. I think there was a few times where Houston isolated us and got us in switches where I didn't think we had to switch every time with a walker right there. I wish we would have doubled a couple times with a walk on Usain and forced the ball out of Usain's hand or something like that. Just create something different. But overall, I thought the guys, put their heart out there, and and that's all you could expect.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the effort and energy, the focus was there. My biggest issue, guys, is Arizona took the lead with 5:32 to go and did not attempt a single two-pointer after that. So for the last 5 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, they got away from what was working for them, and every single shot from the 5:30 mark till the end of the game was a three-point attempt, Kelvin Efon. So, first and foremost, Houston won the hell out of this game. It's got nothing to do with Arizona making mistakes. Houston took the game. They won the title. They're the best team in the conference. There is no doubt about it. Let's get that perfectly clear. I would have liked to seen better shot selection down the stretch. It wasn't exactly a nail-biter at the end there after Houston pushed it out to a lead because I think Arizona settled a little bit too much down the stretch. But overall, I mean, the effort and energy from the guys, really encouraging moving forward in the NCAA tournament. They played this game like there is no tomorrow, and that's all you can ask for, Kelvin, from guys. Some guys on this team don't have a tomorrow once they lose next. So, they brought the energy to Houston. You could tell Houston was a little, I was going to say a little shocked or a little scared or whatever. They're not like that. Like, they're not going to have that energy. But Houston clearly could feel the intensity and energy that the Arizona Wildcats brought tonight, and that's all you can ask for.
Well, the JW, talk about what happened at the end of the game, and it is a scoring drought. They scored their last field goal with 5.5 minutes to go in this game, so they went the final 5.5 minutes without a field goal, and we've talked about that all season long. When they get into those droughts, that is generally when they lose games. And,
as a coach, what's been working to that point, you kind of want to let the guys continue to play because they got you there, right? But once you see that you're in this drought, this is when I got to set up a couple specialty plays to get a couple things going to try to just see if it'll work. That way I can sleep a little bit better because it's hard to sleep knowing that at the end of this game, you didn't get the shots that you wanted. You just took the shots. Now, while I'm saying that, if you watch Houston, they had to break away from the offense and create and make a few things happen. But at the same time, they were getting the matchups that they was looking for, and they was hunting, and they was being effective attacking them.
Only 5 points in the second half for Caleb Love after he got off to such the great start in this particular ball game. 14 in the first half, was really getting downhill to the basket. But in the end, just, from my standpoint, just, again, did not make enough shots. I felt like they needed to outshoot Houston from three in this game. And you're not going to beat a team like this making just 5 3-point shots. 5 for 18 were the Wildcats, and just didn't get to the line. They weren't really calling a lot. It was pretty, clean game from the foul standpoint, where there were 30 fouls total, but just not a lot of foul shots. 24 foul shots combined in this game, and the Wildcats really needed to try to drive up that number, I think, to have a chance to win, and they just could not do it because they weren't really calling anything.
And that's my point, DK, about the finish there, is that if you go the last 5.5 minutes only shooting threes, guys, they were down by 8 or 10 points, and they crawled their way back into that game by attacking the rim. Refs not calling fouls or calling fouls, it doesn't matter. The Houston Cougars are back on their heels. You know why? The Houston Cougars have now won 30 games for the third year in a row by getting teams to give up. They're so strong, they're so physical, that by the end of games, teams are just shooting threes, Kelvin, because they don't want to get in there and mess around with those dudes. So basically, Arizona fell right into their hands that last 5.5 minutes by just settling for outside shots. When they were getting downhill and putting Houston on their heels defensively, they were effective. They just got away from that a little while. And I'll tell you what, it was literally Miles Uzan who closed that game for the Houston Cougars. Whether it was finding mismatches with Tobe Awaka or just getting some little floaters in the lane, Kelvin, or he even knocked down a 3 off dribble during that stretch. I mean, you mentioned that their defense breaks down. Same thing happened to McHale. They run offense broke down. They run really nice offense. The Houston Cougars do. But they've also got 2 or 3 guys who Coach Sampson gives full confidence in taking guys off dribble and taking big shots down the stretch of games. They know their defense is going to keep things close, and he trusts those guys. Cryer's going to knock down a shot or two, but it's really, if you watch their games, especially in the last couple months, it's really Uzan down the stretch of games, off dribble, who's just creating havoc by getting in the paint and little floaters, finding guys. And to me, he was the big difference, especially in that second half, keeping Houston either in the game or when they got out to that lead. His aggressiveness off dribble, single-handedly, Kelvin, no offense necessary, a couple of screens, maybe a mismatch here and there, but he was the one who got Houston that lead and finished it down the stretch.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. DW gets the first text of the evening in. Good game, tough loss. They battled hard to the Wildcats, similar to their loss versus Houston. Played them tough. Just ran out of gas at the final minutes. He says he agrees with you, J-Dub. U of A left everything out on the court. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We'll dive into our keys to the game, what we thought the Wildcats needed to do to win. We'll hand out our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. We'll check all the scores across the nation as the games whittle down to just a few in the various conference tournaments. We'll tell you who else punched tickets to the dance today, getting automatic bids beside the Houston Cougars. And, of course, much, much more. Straight ahead, we'll hear from Tommy Lloyd. I believe it was Jaden Bradley and Caleb Love in the postgame press conference after a 72-64 loss to the Houston Cougars. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot postgame coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The postgame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Desert Diamond Casinos, Dorado Rock, First Chiropractic, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Poston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management, wealth well managed, life well lived.
Motoring around one day, Bob heard all about it on the radio. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care advertising affordable tires and no hidden extras for one low price, including valve stems and the other critical tire thingies that cost additional elsewhere, but not at Jack Furrier's. Bob knows to never underestimate the importance of thingies. As cliches would have it, just then Bob spotted one of Jack Furrier's 14 locations and without hesitation claimed his new set of tires, installed for one low price, thingies included.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 9,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Hughes Federal Credit Union has an online account that fits your needs and lifestyle. With our free checking account, there are no monthly fees and no minimum balance. 24/7 mobile and online banking, unlimited bill pay, a free Visa debit card with your choice of designs, and a vast network of fee-free ATMs. Or upgrade to a checking plus rewards account that offers discounts, deals, valuable services, and so much more. It's easy to sign up online at hughesfcu.org/checking. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Stars are shining down on Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle has more than 2,200 five-star Google reviews from across Arizona, like these.
They go that extra mile to let you know they care. A wonderful experience.
They treat their clients like family, and their professionalism is the best in the business.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
Well said, everyone. After any accident, remember, deferred is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Glove chases down the Arizona rebound. Lead pass ahead to K.J. Lewis. Lewis streaking down, goes behind the back to the bucket and lay it in.
What a beautiful behind-the-back dribble there, just to shake Cryer there at the free throw line for the nice, beautiful finish.
72-64, the final score tonight for the Houston Cougars as they knock off your Arizona Wildcats. Houston champions of the Big 12 tournament. They'll likely be a number one seed in the NCAA tournament. Arizona probably still on that 4 line. I don't think this loss will affect that whatsoever. It might have just solidified them on a 4 unless some other strange things happen in the next 24 hours that slide them off of that. But more than likely, Arizona will still be a 4 seed. It'll depend on which region that they'll be in. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Let's go to the phones and start things off with our guy, Doug. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Hey, guys. Always a pleasure. Thanks for letting me jump in first today. Yeah, you can't be unhappy with the effort today, I don't think. I mean, a lot of really elite teams are going to lose in their conference tournaments. You can only have one winner, so Auburn lost today, and Alabama got smoked today. Michigan State lost today, and Tennessee or Florida will lose tomorrow. And I don't know about Duke, but so like you can't expect you're just going to walk into a new conference and just steamroll everybody. Houston has played 23 games against Big 12 competition this year. They've won 22 of them, and the one that they lost was by 1 point at home. So they're a darn good team. And I just thought that we did a great job bringing the fight to them. I think there is definitely an energy factor. I mean, that's going to be true for both teams, but we just came off a road trip to Kansas, which is, takes a lot of energy. You fly back home, you go back out to KC, you play 3 games in 3 nights, and I thought we put out a max effort in the first half, and it had us in the lead at halftime. And I thought maybe in the second half we just couldn't close out on the shooters quite as much. And we did get switched a few times where we had some kind of weird matchups, but I just can't feel bad about the effort. It would have been awesome, but this felt like a nice to have, not a must have.
No question about that. If there was one thing that just, I guess, in terms of the 3-point defense that stood out to me was that I just felt like at times they lost guys coming down the floor. I mean, like they just didn't pick up coming across midcourt. There was several instances where guys just were kind of faded back and no one picked up coming across midcourt. And then that first one, the first 3 they hit, there was the miscommunication with Deli and Bradley about who was supposed to jump out and take and on the switch there, who was supposed to switch on.
And you said it. The biggest thing is the matchups, making sure you match up right in transition. Sometimes guys get out of whack. If the bigs don't get back fast enough, you can get mismatched because a lot of times the guards are the first guys back. So you have to take the big men that are running first until your big man that went the rebound get back. And a lot of time when that happens, you end up closing out late on one of your shooters. So your bigs have to get back. If they don't get that offensive rebound, they really got to hustle back. So a lot of time it looks like the guards, but a lot of time it's just everybody not getting back so we can match up on our closeouts.
There were definitely a few of them in transition, but even in the half court, I thought there were times where we had a guy, I guess I will single out Carter Bryant as an example, where we got a guy who's just on his man, looking at him, staring at his eyes, but he's leaving him that 6-foot cushion.
Right.
And I just think you got to dare him to drive around you and just get up in his business because, you got other guys behind you that might be able to stop him. And if they do get to the bucket, all right, you gave up 2 points, but not 3. And in a battle like this, every point was huge. It looks like an 8-point margin at the end, but it's really a neck-and-neck game. So I just think, settle for those, giving up those 2s if you have to, but this is the best 3-point shooting team, I think, in the Big 12. Don't sag off at all, I did think that Tommy made a pretty interesting adjustment. Did you see he had Awaka guarding the shooters? He had Awaka out on the perimeter guarding guards a lot. And I don't even think it's because he got switched. It looked like it was intentional.
Nah, I think a lot of time he got switched. I don't think that's a matchup that you want to be in. Because I just don't. I think a lot of time when I saw it, he got switched out, and I felt like the guy should have made more of an effort to get over that switch or the double, and then let a Walker get back to his man. It's just something that during the game that you got to feel and you got to talk it out as players on the court, man. You got to make that adjustment because you can't get in a situation where a point guard is going against your 4. I don't think there's no way Coach Lloyd.
You don't think it was intentional?
No way Coach Lloyd.
I thought he actually held his own. I thought he held his own, actually.
He was decent, but every time he either got by him or he broke him down and got a pass off to somebody else. So it's just not ideal to be having your big in that situation.
It also could be that stretch where they went small. Like, wasn't it 4 guards and Waka at one point?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
maybe I don't know. I feel like Henry might have still been in there, but Tobe was out on the perimeter guarding guys. But no, but I know, like from my limited experience playing pickup games and stuff, that sometimes you could call switch, and then you look for the moment where you can say switch back. Right. Because you got a mismatch.
Or you just running double, or you just running double and force your guy to get back, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So if it's my man, right, and somebody switched on to my man, and I'm looking as a guard, and I know and I'm guarding the big. So usually if we switched off, that means somebody is guarding the Walker's man, which probably more than likely is a big, right?
That makes sense, of course. Yeah.
I'm sprinting away from him, right, leaving him open. Why? Because I want him to throw him the ball. Right, because he's on the perimeter, and so I'm going to leave him and go double. And again, maybe he told Usain throw him the ball, and a Walker has chance to go and cover the basket to keep him from driving to the basket, because we want that guy shooting the three. Even though we know Houston guys are so disciplined, they're not going to shoot that three.
I will say this: like, I think there were 2 or 3, maybe 4 instances where either hands were down, and there was too much cushion, and the guy got an open look at the rim, and that was a defensive lapse.
That wasn't KJ Lewis.
Yeah. But for the most part, Houston won this game because of their shot making, because they made tough shots in the lane over the top of defenders, because they made tough threes from 24 feet out over the top of an outstretched arm. So, yes, there were 3 or 4 instances you can point to where maybe an Arizona defender didn't have hands up, knowing that there was a shooter in front of him, and he just launched it. We saw that a couple of times. But for the most part, guys, I mean, we got to give credit to the shot making of the Houston Cougars down the stretch, because that's really what ended up happening. Those were isolated instances where Arizona had a defensive lapse. For the most part, it was really just Houston making tough shots.
Yeah, that's good analysis, and I've been saying it for years. Like the ultimate equalizer in basketball is if you make baskets. And I mean, BYU down here at McHale, there were some times that I thought we guarded them really well, and they just shot over us and switched it. And sometimes you just feel like it's bad luck. I sound like Tommy now. There are definitely times where we've just been really lax on 3-point defense, but there are other times that you're like, hey, good D, and then the guy still hits it. And all you can do is just say, man, nice shot. It's frustrating.
We just saw one of those, and they're showing the highlights right now, that the shot that Miles Uzan hit to put him up 64-62.
The lefty floater from off dribble when he had a walk on him? Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, he took on 3 defenders on that play.
He did the same thing in McHale. We had the lead in the second half in McHale, and he came down and hit back-to-back threes. He's just a tough player.
The last 10 minutes of that game in McHale, it was all Milos Uzan took over that game in McHale. And something similar today.
Did we double him one time in that last 10 minutes?
Uzan, probably not.
I never saw one double, and I just got to try just to see, how the guy reacts to it.
I guess, but then you still got Cryer and and Sharp, right, to worry about. You can't.
Well, I'm not doubling off those
guys.
I'm not doubling off those guys. I'm doubling off the power forward. I'm doubling off the power forward or the center. Right. We're doubling with those guys, trying to force them to throw it to them. Now, they're good at hitting those guys for dunks, but I'd rather that than them guys killing me from threes.
Doug, you want a fun stat?
Yeah.
The Kelvin Sampson-led Houston Cougars have now won 30 or more games in 4 consecutive 30-win seasons. They've gone to the Sweet 16 6 consecutive tournaments. That doesn't include the season that they didn't have it. They went Sweet 16, Final Four, Elite 8, Sweet 16, Sweet 16. So, I mean, again,
it's one thing when they were playing like the Memphises and Tulanes of the world, but then they moved to the Big 12, and they basically just kept it going.
Like, if you go to a Final Four, if you're playing in the American Athletic Conference, you still go to a Final Four. That's what I'm saying. Like, last year was obviously their first year in the Big 12, but as overall record, sure. Like, they were beating up on some teams that weren't great in the American Athletic Conference. Then they went 15-3 last year, 19-1 this year. But all I'm saying is their postseason runs have been super consistent because that program right now is just super consistent. And it starts
it's a style
at the top.
Of play thing. Yeah. Well, they basically do like Marine boot camp, for their training. These guys are like running through football blocking, tackle.
Well, they throw the ball on the ground, and then they have the scrum, like the fumble drill, where like all the dudes, but it's on parquet. It's on an actual hardwood floor, which Kelvin, I don't know, it's kind of crazy to me, but yeah, they do that fumble drill. I've seen a lot of videos of Sampson back to 7-8 years ago at Houston, running that fumble drill, and that's what they preach. They preach 50-50 balls. Every 50-50 ball, Kelvin Sampson wants to be theirs.
And with all that being said, right, we were just a couple of fluky plays away from winning this game and taking home the trophy. We've got a crazy, Caleb steps on Henry's foot and gets called for traveling, and we get, what was it, a double dribble at the end? I'm forgetting now what the other turnover was. And we had like a lot of tip outs that we allowed on the the offensive glass for them. Our defensive rebounds, inability to secure those defensive rebounds was a killer, just giving them second chances. I don't know what else you can do about that except put your butt into the guy that you're trying to block out, maybe a little better. But some of them just, again, felt like just bad luck. I don't know, or just maybe we need to improve our positioning on that. I don't know if Kelvin, if you saw anything about that. How do you clean that up? They're tipping it back out to themselves for second chances.
You got to get a body on those guys early. You kind of helping and you're trying to be help side, but you have to get a body on those guys early and almost do like a two-step box out to make sure that either they're going over your back or you're keeping your guy away from the ball. Each individual guy got to take pride in making sure that their guy isn't the guy tipping the ball out.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of other people probably want to get on. I just want to say, we're talking about how great Houston is, coming into a new conference and having so much success. Well, I got news for you. We just moved conferences, and coming into this year, we didn't really know what to expect. But we finished, in third place, and we were close runner-up in the tournament. So I'd say that we fit in just fine. And Tommy's made some great adjustments to style of play without having to go to super, Ben Howland ball or Mick Cronin ball. Like he's still looking for opportunities to have up-tempo offense, but he's started to get guys to play that more rugged defense, and finding ways to score even when it bogs down. So I like what I'm seeing, and I think when we just keep the same thing going and clean up a few mistakes, we could surprise some people next week.
Outstanding, Doug, as always. Appreciate your call.
For sure. Thanks, guys. I'll see everybody out at Union tomorrow for the selection show.
There we go. Stop on by. We'll be there from 3 to 5 after the Tommy Lloyd show. 520-848-1290. You were mentioning Kelvin Sampson now in a tied for fourth with this is the sixth time in his career that he has coached a team that has won 30 games. He entered the day tied with four coaches. Tommy Izzo, Sean Miller, and Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino's team is winning late by double digits. They're sitting on 29 wins. So both Rick Pitino and Kelvin Sampson will have 30-win seasons this year. And so they'll separate themselves from Tom Izzo and Sean Miller, who is also on that list. He has had 5 as well 30-win seasons. Michigan State has just 27 so far, so Izzo could still get to that number later this year. The top names on that list, Bill Self, who has 11 30-win seasons, John Calipari, who has 10 30-win seasons, and Mark Few, Tommy Lloyd's mentor, has 7. That's your top 3.
It's also a bit skewed because guess how many games Arizona played in 2003 and 2004?
2003 and 2004.
They played 30 games, DK. They played 30 games in that year. Total.
Wow. Now, why did they play so few? And that's
because they've increased the number of games in the last 15 years that they play.
I see. There you go. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll take more of your calls and text on the other side. 72-64, the final. We'll review our best bets as well, hand out our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the post-game show on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond, the round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
If you have old windows, they are probably driving up your energy bills. Upgrade with new windows from the Window Depot. The Window Depot provides unbeatable value and a wide variety of in-stock and custom-order windows to fit your style and budget. With our exclusive SI window brand, made right here in the USA, you'll get a full lifetime warranty, including glass replacement, for ultimate peace of mind. Order online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you and start your project today. Experience the best prices, the biggest inventory, only at the Window Depot.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
If you can't be at the game, then you should be at Dave & Buster's. It's the best place to eat, watch, drink, and play. Watch your favorite team throughout the entire tournament. Take a walk on the $1 Million Midway where you can play the biggest and newest arcade games. So when your day calls for some winning, it's time for Dave & Buster's. Watch all the sports you want. They have massive HD TVs, a chef-crafted menu, and an incredible list of beers, wines, and cocktails. So remember, if your day calls for a little victory, a little triumph, a little win, it's probably calling for Dave & Buster's.
Motoring around one day, Bob heard all about it on the radio. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care advertising affordable tires and no hidden extras for one low price, including valve stems and the other critical tire thingies that cost additional elsewhere, but not at Jack Furrier's. Bob knows to never underestimate the importance of thingies. As cliches would have it, just then Bob spotted one of Jack Furrier's 14 locations and without hesitation claimed his new set of tires, installed for one low price, thingies included.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Love avoids that, matched on sharp crossover, drives right, runner is up, high up the rim, follow jam is good by Vasar, and at halftime, Arizona with the lead at 33-28. Henry Vasar, perfect position there on the miss to jam it home.
Congrats to Houston. I mean, obviously they've had a great season and they've had a great couple of seasons, and Coach Sampson deserves a ton of credit. Hey, they got us twice this year, and they won the conference by 4 or 5 games, and they win the conference tournament. So, at this moment, they're the king of the Big 12, and so nothing but respect for them. Proud of our guys. We obviously came here, wanted to compete for a championship, and we did. And to the last couple of minutes of the game, we're right there. I mean, it's I don't even know what the time is. We had a lead there, I think under 4 minutes to go, and we gave ourselves a chance. We just didn't get it done. So hopefully we'll learn from it. Obviously we're at the time of the year where there's no margin for error, and we're excited to take the next step into the NCAA tournament.
Okay, please raise your hand and let us get a wireless mic to you. Let's start on the right, here about the third row.
Tommy, you talked about 3 years ago, Kelvin in sweatpants rolling you guys in that tournament. I mean, do you feel like you're a lot more competitive today? Anything there?
I mean, listen, we're right there. They're obviously missing one of their, their better players. And so you got to acknowledge that, that guy he's a really good player that sat out today. So we're right there, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you close the gap or not. You got to get it done, we're Arizona basketball. We're used to winning championships too, and we know that's where we belong and that's where we want to get. Right now Houston's above us, and we're going to do what we can to close that gap.
We got a question here on the third row.
Hi, Melissa Guzaloglu, the Daily Wildcat. Caleb, congrats on being selected for the All-Tournament team. Just your thoughts overall on the first year being in the Big 12.
It was a tough year, tough conference, and for us to compete with the best of the best, as far as conferences, I'm proud of my guys. I'm proud of the coaches for leading us, and we've been through so much adversity, and we've overcome so much adversity and hardship. And I'm just proud that we made it this far, and we will be ready for the postseason and March Madness.
Got another one here on the right.
Thanks, Caleb and Jaden. Both of you guys, just kind of how would you describe the last 4 or 5 minutes there when it just got a little bit, they just got enough there?
It was kind of just a lot of ISO ball on their end on offense, and we decided to just play one-on-one, and that's something that we got to get better at. Looking at film and knowing tendencies of guys, certain moves and things. And then on offense, that's me and JB, we got to own those 2 turnovers that we had in the clutch. Coach put a lot of confidence into us and a lot of responsibility, putting the ball in our hands in those moments, and we got to deliver, and we'll own it, and we'll be better for it.
Did you want Jaden to answer that as well?
Yeah, like what C Love said, like we got to own those turnovers at the end. We got to do a better job of getting stops when needed at the end of the games, and those 50-50 balls. I feel like they were getting tip outs, and that's something we worked on, and we really didn't do a good job of. So just following the game plan.
Let's go here on the left, Blair.
Coach, what makes Houston such a tough team?
I mean, come on, that's almost like a high-level hypothetical question. I mean, obviously they play with great effort. They got a great coach. They're relentless, and offensively they got a plan. I mean, obviously he saw some matchups he wanted to kind of target in that second half, and he did. And it's just disappointing for me that we got good players too. And our guys shouldn't be able to be targeted like that. And so individually, you got to answer the challenge. I mean, I don't know what else I can do. I mean, I guess I can go zone. I can do that. But, you got to own the challenge. They're literally isolating you, and they're targeting you. And it's obvious they're doing it, so step up and get it done. And that was disappointing to me in the second half that we weren't able to do that.
Okay, we've got one on the right side here.
Coach Liam Howard, Scobuff Sports. As a team, mentality-wise, how do you all have a short memory as you move into March Madness and sort of begin a fresh season in the postseason tournament there?
The moment we shower, leave this locker room, it's on to the next thing. We're excited to be participating in the NCAA tournament. I mean, it's an honor. It's something you should never take for granted. It's really hard to do. We're proud we were able to compete for a conference championship today. We just want to get it done. But we'll move forward. We'll move forward, and I can't wait to see whose name pops up on our line tomorrow, and we're going to be excited to play them next Thursday or Friday.
Let's go here on the right on the third row.
Speaking of that, Tommy, where do you think this sets you up for Selection Sunday, and do you think you helped your case?
Bruce, I know this is our deal, but I don't live in hypotheticals. I have no idea. Like, set up, like, you talking seeds, or what are you talking, like?
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, do you feel like a 4
I have no idea.
Do you feel like a 4 seed
Put us
now,
at a 13 seed. We'll be fine. We can't wait till Thursday. Let's go.
Well, I think that early thing had you at a 3. I'm wondering if you feel like you got back to that or a 4. Or...
I'll let you speculate on that. Whatever they give us, I'm ready.
Any other questions? Okay, we're going to go over here to the right.
Oliver Hayes, 24/7 Sports. For Caleb, last year you kind of struggled to make some shots in the conference tournament, but this year you hit some shots, obviously made the all-tournament team and made the championship. How big is it to build some momentum ahead of the March Madness?
It feels good, but ultimately, the team, progress is most important. How is the team flowing and how are we getting better? So, and like I said earlier, we're going to watch film when we get back. We're going to clean up some things that we had to work on. And like Coach said, we'll be ready for whoever they, put us up against.
Okay, we're going to go here to the left.
Saul Booker, PHNX Sports. Tommy, this is for you. Defensively, how did you feel about your team's performance in the last 3 days versus what had been, kind of happening?
I mean, listen, I think, whatever. I know you guys look at Ken Palm and you're figuring out defensive numbers. It's hard. It's hard, game to game. And, hey, we had a moment. We were a top 10 defense in the country. Now, I don't know. We're a little bit below that. But we're a good defensive team. That's why I was a little bit disappointed today. We kind of got isolated and targeted a little bit, and we didn't get stops. And, it wasn't complicated stuff. It was literally like picking a guy. We're going to go at this guy, and we think we can score on him. Well, step up as a competitor. Get a stop. It's one-on-one in the park. It's with your brother in the backyard. That's what we do. And so that was disappointing to me, but it's obviously something we got to get better at.
All right, that's Tommy Lloyd, the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats after a 72-64 loss to the Houston Cougars in the Big 12 tournament championship game. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's hear from Mike. You're on the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show.
How you guys doing?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Good. I'll keep it short. I know you have other callers. Here's the recipe for winning in March. Okay? Defend the 3 and hit your shots. That's what I've got to say. In March, defend the 3. Teams that hit their shots, move on. Sometimes the defense isn't always there, and you just plainly have to outscore teams. Defend the 3, hit your shots, and you move on.
Thanks, guys. There you go. You hit it on the head there, Mike. You got to make shots. That's what I said on the pregame show. They were not going to win this game today if they did not make shots against Houston.
In that post-game press conference, Jaden Bradley and Caleb Love both took personal responsibility for their turnovers in the crunch time, Kelvin Ifan. And number one, I love that. I love the idea that they're not shirking away from the idea that they're the ones responsible for making sure that their team gets a good possession, that they get a good look at the rim, and clearly unforced errors. The other thing is Coach Lloyd there talking about hunting mismatches and him just saying you got to be better. You got to step up in those moments. If you're Tobey and you've got a guard in the perimeter, whoever's in those situations, obviously you hope that the guys on the court are capable of switching those situations and being able to move their feet. And if you feel bad for a guy like Tobey guarding a point guard, but both those statements are true factual statements, Kelvin Ifan, and the idea that no matter what position you play on the court, when it comes down to the last 5 minutes of a game where it's a one-possession game with 5 minutes to go, one-possession game, every single possession, Houston's going to try to hunt mismatches. You got to find a way to try to get your hand up in shooters. You got to try to find a way to stay in front of drivers.
Yeah, I totally agree, but there's just that part where my job as a coach is to help you. And I got to do something. I got to throw something at them, man. I got to.
Was he going to do play zone?
Huh?
Was he going to do play zone? That's what he said.
Yeah,
Coach said,
I don't
Coach
think,
said, what am I supposed to do, play zone?
I might have
That's
thrown
what
it
Baylor
at him.
tried to do.
I might have, but I ain't going to lie. With the three-point shooting, I wouldn't have did zone. But I definitely would have tried to double whoever, man. Because if it's a Walker, if you're singling out, first they went at Del Orso, okay? You can't play him. That's a different situation.
Did you hear the announcers?
What's that?
They said, Del Orso's great, and I really like his outside shooting, but he doesn't belong in this game.
Yeah,
that's what the announcer said at one point when he was getting muscled down low.
Yeah, no, because they was hunting him out. But I think at the same time, once you realize that you're going to go and have a Walker be there, you have to try to something. Throw a double at them, to run two guys, run and jump them, something to just try to force the ball out of that guy's hand and see what else happens. That's the only thing I disagree. Of course, you would love for the guys to be able to step up and just stop the guy, but we can all see where basketball has went to 5 out because that's not happening. Guys can't stop them. They're isolating those big guys and everybody getting around them and scoring, as we see in the NBA all the time and as well as college.
The problem is Milos Uzan literally played like an NBA starting point guard down the stretch there. Like the lefty floater off the glass over 2 defenders after he got by his man. He had a step back 3 in that stretch.
And they was too late. That help got to be earlier than that, right?
Yeah.
That help he already in the air. Yes, the 2 guys came over, but that was for the pitcher.
No doubt. No doubt.
That was for the pitcher. You got to get to him early today because you know his spots. His spots is literally he's going to shoot the 3 or he's going to shoot within, 6 feet? He's not looking for the 15-footer. He's not looking for the 15-footer. He's not looking for the 10. He's going right around the rim. So you got to come and double a little early. As soon as you see him take a dribble past the 3-point line, okay, boom, that's my double. I understand, him maybe getting a 3-pointer or 2, but you can't let him get to the rim and be able to get those buckets like he was getting right there. Those were the true killers.
Between him and Sharp, they took 43 of the 61 field goal attempts. 2 guys, that's over 2/3. Over 2/3 of their field goal attempts came from 2 guys. And it was all in the perimeter. I mean, Sharp's a catch and shoot guy for the most part, but Uzan was really getting loose. I know that was his career high, right? 25. I mean, it's not a ton of points. He's more of a facilitator, but he's a finisher, man. He's really down the stretch of games. I like the comparison. They compared him to Andrew Nembhard, the Indiana Pacers, and that's a very similar style of game. Just a complete game with the floater package. And, K-Rock, I mean, obviously I agree with you. You got to help a guy out in the perimeter, especially when someone's getting loose like Uzan was. There's no correct answer to this. I just think at this time of year, like caller Mike just said, you got to make shots. You got to stop guys. You got to defend the 3-point line. And more than anything, you got to keep guys out of the paint as much as possible, whatever it takes to quick twitch, move that left foot, move that right foot, keep that guy from driving by you. Do whatever it takes.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's hear from Anthony. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the post-game show.
Hey, bear down, guys. How you guys doing?
Good, Anthony.
Yeah, so it hurts, but we live to fight another day. Good showing. Hopefully, they could turn around and use this motivation towards the tournament. A couple key parts of the game. Houston's just a good team. They're just a really, really good team. We fought hard. We were probably just as aggressive as them for a little bit. Just the thing with Houston, they're like that prize fighter that just keeps coming forward, throwing those body blows, and you may be racking up points, but damage is being done. And basically, it's kind of like the same thing happened to McHale. We had our chances, got down to the final 4 minutes, and they just made the plays. We didn't. A couple plays that really killed me were, I think it was like almost the 4-minute mark, and they're up 2. We run the shot clock down, and we have Bradley take a 3. 3 off the dribble, step back 3, misses it. Next possession down, they come back, they score. Next possession down, we run a play, then we have KJ Lewis take a 3. At that point in time, we're doing well penetrating. We get stuck in a half-court offense. Probably a little bit of Houston, forcing us into that too, but our 2 worst 3-point shooters, and we have them taking 2 threes back-to-back possessions in a one-possession game. That's not going to win a lot of games. But one thing I love, and I think, Trey Townsend, never going to knock on him because without him, we don't get probably to this game today, but the way he did in the last 2 games. But this game wasn't for him, and I'm glad that Lloyd made the decision to make the adjustment and go with the other lineup. Only thing is that the other little run they made on us when he was back in the game, and that was just because of the low blow to Carter, where it kind of forced Lloyd's hand at that point in time.
He caught a knee.
So that wasn't on Lloyd. I'm sorry?
He caught a knee in a place that people don't like catching knees.
Right, exactly.
It was rough. When they show the replay and they don't show it in the front end, they show the back end. But when you see the back of his shorts move from the impact on the front, you knew that he took a shot.
Yeah.
So that was pretty rough. And the other thing is ADO, and I kind of understand why I think Lloyd did it in the second half, starting ADO when they made that run, is because I believe Lewis had 2 fouls. And so, I mean, I would have loved to see Lewis start, but start the second half because that's the offense that we ran. I mean, we made the adjustment pulling Townsend and going with the other lineup, but I kind of wish we would have pulled ADO for that first part of the second half. But I kind of, like I said, I don't know, you get Lewis in there and he gets a foul in the first couple of minutes, and then all of a sudden that just changes everything.
You talk about token starters, right? I mean, Trey gets 8 minutes total.
13 minutes between those two
Yeah,
guys.
8 minutes for Trey in the entire game, and Anthony Del Orso got 5 total minutes. So even though those guys started the second half, clearly, Anthony, they did not finish or get many minutes beyond just those starters' minutes.
But you take a look at the runs that happened. That's the thing, though. I definitely understand. They got 0 points, but yeah, they did have those. Like I think ADO had 5, you said, and I think Townsend did have 8. But if you take a look at the runs in the game, it happened in those minutes.
Yeah,
it happened in the 5 minutes of the second half. They opened the second half where they went from a 5-point lead to a 4-point, 5-point deficit to a 4-point, and then when the Carter Bryant takes that shot and Townsend comes in, it's just this game. Townsend's been had a great tournament for us. It's just this game wasn't built for him. I also see where they're talking about picking on a player, not just Townsend, not just Awaka, but they had like where they would get Carter Bryant on a guard, and Carter Bryant's very athletic and very athletic, makes up for it defensively a lot, like with his athleticism. But he's how can I say? Have you ever seen those players that they're fast but they're not quick?
Yeah.
And his first step isn't explosive on offense or defense. So a lot of times on that first step, they'll get a step on him, and he'll make up with the athleticism. But they took advantage of it today. They took that little jab step forward, and he was playing so far back because he didn't want to get beat that all of a sudden that it just freed up enough space to hit those 2 back-to-back threes.
You know what it seems like to me?
Smart coaching.
You know what it seems like to me, Anthony and Kelvin. I'd like to get your input on this, but Carter will eventually be a lockdown, maybe all-league type defender. I mean, he's just got that DNA. He's got the length. He's got all those things. But as an 18-year-old at this level, going against a top 2 team in the country, it seems like his thought process and the thinking behind his actions is a little slow. He's thinking before he's moving. And Kelvin Ifon, when you get into the Big 12 tournament final versus a team that's lost 1 conference game all year long, it's really reactionary. You're reacting off your fundamentals, off of all the drilling you've been doing all your life. And this isn't a knock. He's just a young player. And in time, after he's got more reps and after he's played in more big games like this, I don't think he would – I think his quick twitch is there, Kelvin. I just think right now his brain doesn't quite match his quick twitch type thing. How do you see it?
Yeah, no, man, and he's the type of guy that he's gonna go for it a little bit, and I think you can game plan against him. You could tell that he reaches a little bit. He's gonna take swipes at it, and I think their guys, being veteran, older guys, just attacked his chest. I mean, they understood. They look at him like a 4 as well. I mean, eventually he's gonna be a guy that I feel like that could guard 4 positions, but right now he's a little bit better at guarding the 4 position and in some 5s. So yeah, I just think that he just got kind of put on an island a few times, and guys just use him being young against him and knowing that he's going to go for the different fakes.
One thing if he does return, which I mean I hope he does. One thing I hope if he does return, I hope because I think Lloyd, and if we could work with him on a post-up game, where he could get some small forwards or on switches and, get guards. Because his type of skill set, imagine him running a little bit of a post game and then running his normal game.
I don't mean to cut you off, but if that was going to happen, then we would have did that for Townsend. Townsend was known as a guy that could score on the box like that. That's not the offense that we're trying to run. Am I wrong, J-Dub?
No, I mean, they're trying to post Mo Krivas.
Yeah, yes.
And he's not in the lineup anymore. I think the issue is Carter Bryant is like the prototypical NBA 3.
Yeah, 3 and D.
And so the skill set that they're developing is really off dribble, catch and shoot, and then offensive rebounding, that kind of thing, and then being able to attack the rim off the dribble. I agree with you, Anthony, that maybe 25 years ago, Carter Bryant would be that dude who you would – like Carmelo, right? Like Carmelo would hit a 3 on you, but he would also take you within 8 feet and put his jumper. Yeah, put his butt into you and then hit a turnaround jumper on you. I think Carter Bryant could develop that game, but where does that take you in the near future, Kelvin? Relative to his skill set, I don't think there's a future where Carter Bryant 5 years from now is posting guys up.
Right, and that breaks the flow offense, doesn't it? Kind of breaks the flow when you throw it into the post and they got to take 2 or 3 dribbles. I think that's the reason why I feel like Townsend hasn't been effective, because to me, I think with a lot, if we could get him in some situation where we can throw him the ball and let him dribble 3 or 4 times, he can get those fakes going and he could be a problem. But
and that's the issue, is that at the at the Oakland level, he can.
Right.
At the Oakland level, he was able to get that Charles Barkley backside into guys and be able to create space and then dribble a couple times, find cutters. Trey Townsend at Oakland, very adept at finding cutters because he would command a double team or whatever. The length at this level in this conference, all the athleticism is at the 4 position. All the athletes in this conference are either 3s or 4s. Don't get me wrong, there's some athletic guards as well. But look at Baylor, look at Houston, look at these teams. The way they're built is that their 3s and 4s are where their athletes are really at. And right now, Trey Townsend, on the block from 4 feet, 5 feet out, he's going to struggle finishing over the length of a lot of those guys. So I think they've gone away from that as the year's gone. I think they tried to post him up, Kelvin, early in the year, but not as much lately.
And the difference though with I think Brian has a little bit better skill set and a better build to be able to do that than Townsend. But yeah, no, I really just wish he would add that to his game. I mean, it doesn't have to be something we run all the time, but just add to the game as another little weapon. But I mean, we went toe to toe with probably one of the 3 best teams in the nation, maybe one of the 4. All it does is it hurts me seeing how we played defensively this game and the time we played them in Tucson when we played them here at home, and it just hurts me when I look back at that little drought that we went on towards the end of the year, giving up the 96 to BYU. I know they're hot, but giving 96, giving up 100 at ASU, and just a couple little droughts. It's like, man, was it between the ears then that was the problem, just not the motivation in that? Because when we came to play right here, we went toe to toe with BYU. I'm sorry, with Houston, but they just at the end, it's like that's you guys made a good comment about Carter Bryant. His mind, his body's working, but his mind isn't. That's the difference. Houston has a bunch of old men, and then not that his mind's not working, but he's just had that freshman attitude. And Houston has just a veteran team. You got what's the name? Like a 17-year senior, I believe.
Yeah.
They're
I think the best way to think about it is like second guessing yourself in real time. So if you make a decision to do something and then your brain's like, well, is that the right thing to do, or should I be doing this instead? If you got that questioning, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And that's common for young players because they're trying to do the right thing, but they haven't had the reps to be able to make those decisions. So 4th, 5th year, I mean, BYU's got a lot of 26-year-olds as well. There's no doubt Carter Bryant is one of the youngest players in all of college basketball, right? So there's no doubt that eventually those decision-making skills will develop over time. It's just like any other skill in life. You figure out how to make those decisions in real time and be convicted about your decision-making.
And I can tell you, just from how cerebral we see the way he talks.
Yeah, no doubt.
That sophomore jump would be through the roof.
He's real smart.
And that's going to be one of the reasons why I think the NBA people are going to try to do everything they can to take him, because they understand what that jump can be. This is right where they like to take them away from the colleges, right? Because they want to develop that jump. They don't want that to be developed from a college coach, because the college coach is going to be more about the team. The NBA team is going to be more about the player. It's a product to them that they're trying to build up either for their own team or to,
as an asset.
As an asset, exactly. So that's where it's going to be a little tricky with him, because, again, there is some opportunities for him to grow with what we're doing, but it's so team-oriented, right, that a lot of times I don't know as far as NBA opportunity, which way he's going to go.
Yeah, and the one thing I hope we get him back for the sophomore year, because you're right. He met him twice, and he just I never like to talk their ear off. They're still kids and that, so I just respectful in that. But met him twice, and he seems humbled. Is a good kid. Seems like a great kid. The way he communicates, yeah, you could tell that he's
thoughtful.
He has a big, he has a very big. A promising future.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That upside is ridiculous. I just can only imagine he'll be a cheat code next year.
Yeah.
Because he's already a confident kid, but you see him kind of holding himself back. You see him trying to be respectful to the system and be respectful to the older guys. All you hear him talking about is KJ Lewis, Caleb Love, just saying all the right things or whatever. But I think coming into that sophomore year, he's going to feel like a veteran, and I think he would be through the roof. But just almost seemed too good to be true, J-Dub. I'm sorry. When I just think about what he actually could become coming into next year with that three-point shooting ability, and then once he gets that confidence to put the ball on the floor, oh, my goodness, and being able to guard all those different positions, it just doesn't seem real, DK. I can't see that type of talent being able to come back. I mean, that I'm just I hate to even talk about it, but it's just real.
Paul George, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ceiling. If you're talking about a 6'9", 6'10" guy with perimeter skills who's got the length and cerebral and all that kind of things, I mean, that's the guy a lot of young players point to Paul George as like the perfect – I know he's not playing well this year, and there's a lot of stuff going on around that, but you talk about a 6'9", 6'10" guy in the modern game, who you could look at to see – Carter Bryant looking similar to in the next 5-8 years. I mean, it's something like that for sure.
I like that one, and I like Tatum also. I think a little bit look like Tatum. Yeah. I think that's he reminds me a little bit of a Tatum.
Yeah, he just needs better handles and a step back.
Yeah, a little bigger. Yeah.
Anthony, we appreciate your time.
One thing I want to say, guys, and let you go 6 more times, but you guys, best show here in Tucson. I listen to all the podcasts and that. Your guys' knowledge is the best, man. I love you guys.
Appreciate it. We love you, Anthony. Thank you so much.
Bear down.
All right, let's get a break
Bear
in
down,
here.
guys.
We'll come back. We'll take some more of your calls and text at 520-848-1290. Wildcats fall to Houston 72-64 in the Big 12 Conference Championship game. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Bear down, Wildcat Nation. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, a full wrap-up of today's Wildcats contest. Top takeaways, reaction from the players and head coach Tommy Lloyd, plus your thoughts on what you saw. The postgame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
With all the protection I need. Helmet, gloves, leathers, and the Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle fights hard to help injured riders across the state. Whether we're cruising through Carefree, slow riding in Sedona, or breezing through Bisbee, they find you doctors, manage medical bills, and get you back on your bike with the most money possible. Injured riding? The bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
If you're suffering from back pain and your physician is giving you a back brace or a pain pill or an injection and not explain the process of what you have and how to rehabilitate yourself, then there might be something missing. I'm Tom Corey. I'm a physiatrist here at Desert Sky Spine and Pain. If you're looking to find the root cause of your pain, any pain that's limiting your function, limiting the things that you want to do in life, call us at 520-229-2080 or find us on the web at desertskymedicine.com.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 9,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain, Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Now the Cougars move it the other way. Quickly down to Sharp. Wide open three from the right wing is good. That's the second wide open three. And Tommy Lloyd-Kyle's timeout. They can't allow that to continue. Houston is the #1 three-point shooting team in the Big 12. You can't leave them open.
Now that's shooting practice right there. Once again, Arizona not matching up in defensive transition, not knowing who they're guarding, giving up another one, and you just can't do that, especially in a game where you know points are going to be hard to come by.
Yeah, that was one of those I was talking about earlier where they just let Houston come down the floor and nobody even came out on the shooter. There were four guys kind of standing in the paint, and I want to go back. I mentioned that first play, Calvin. What happened on that first play between Bradley and Del Orso screwing up that switch on the first three-pointer that they got? I don't know if you remember that one.
I'm losing that one right now. What?
Well, they switched and they both went with the ball handler, and nobody went with the shooter, and the shooter was left wide open on a pick.
Yeah, right, the first play of the game?
Yeah, it was a screen.
Yeah, that was 10 seconds into the game.
So I was like, what? And it was a glaring miscommunication.
Yeah, and that's what it was.
Right.
I mean, now I remember what you're saying. That's just a simple miscommunication. I mean, there shouldn't be nobody open, especially off a handout. That's a simple. You come shoulder to shoulder and you switch it from shoulder to shoulder because you don't allow the guys to split you. So I don't understand, what could have happened in that situation. Maybe it was a thing where Del Orso felt like Bradley should have stayed with the ball, being a better defender. So he's probably trying to get away from it. But at the same time, it was in their game plan. It was in Houston game plan to try to hunt Del Orso out. So he was going to have to be ready regardless.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us or you can text us. Let's hand out our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. And let's see. We've got candidates. A couple guys off the bench for Houston today were big. Javier Francis had 8 points, 7 rebounds. Malik Wilson had 9 points and 7 rebounds. The Wildcats on their side, even though Toby Waka only scored 6 points, he grabbed 9 boards. Arizona, though, only 8 offensive rebounds in the entire game. I think I'm gonna go with Joseph Tugler, just because he was my best of the game. He only scored 2 points, but he had 6 rebounds and 3 blocks. and fouled out.
Trying to think of the most impactful rebounds of the game. Tobey's rebounds seemed pretty pedestrian in that, like, he got some defensive rebounds. He got a couple, don't get me wrong. Like, there was a couple that he outmuscled guys. But I'd have to look at – I didn't see the second chance points. There weren't a lot of opportunities there.
No, neither team did.
The thing is that, Arizona really needed to win the rebounding battle and especially limit the offensive rebounding from the Houston Cougars because they're so guard-heavy on their offensive side that those bigs are just going to go chase. I mean, it's a very Baylor – Kelvin, the way Baylor 15 years ago set their team up to have their guards shoot all the shots, have their 4s and 5s go and get it afterwards. As it seems like a similar style that Houston's playing these days where the guards take all the shots. So, I mean, I have no problem giving it to a Houston Cougar, although – they did tie. They both had 35 rebounds on the game. I think Arizona really needed to win this by 5 or more. So I got no problem giving it to Tugler or one of the other Cougars.
Yeah, I'll go with Tugler as well. It just seemed like he was just a physical presence, even though he only played 18 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the conference defensive player of the year that Arizona fouled out in 18 minutes. The only reason he played 18 minutes is because he got 5 fouls in those 18 minutes.
And blocks could be considered glass cleaning, keeping the ball off the glass.
Yeah, 3 blocks in 18 minutes. So,
Joseph Tugler is your Window Depot glass cleaner of the game from the Houston Cougars. Window Depot, lowest prices, biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. 520-848-1290. Let's hear from Howie. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Hey guys, the main reason I called you is just to thank you for the wonderful year that we had and what you guys do, man.
It's not over yet, Howie. Don't be talking like we're done.
Well, I agree. I'm going to mention a couple things here. I agree with ESPN announcer. I like him better than Walton, God bless his soul. But he said in the second half, and I totally agree, Love's got to get more involved. It was like he played tremendous in the first half, I thought.
Loved
and
his
in the
aggressiveness.
second half, he was playing street ball, like he's back in St. Louis. And he was great. In the second half, he was kind of like non-existent, The second thing I want to bring up is about getting guys in the U of A program. I think you guys discussed this before, or somebody did. I don't know. I listen to so many sports shows, I get them all mixed up. But we need. Uzan, whatever his name is, they mentioned that the reason he picked Houston because he thought it was his best chance to get to a Final Four. And that's the kind of guys I think we need to get in the portal or get out of high school. One of the two, maybe out of the portal, maybe they got a couple issues at some school and stuff. I mean, I respect the kids from the guys from the smaller schools and stuff, but, everybody calls up and they're talking about problems with the guys that originally started at Campbell or started at Oakland or started at who school. You know what I mean? We got to get guys like Uzan that, says like Arizona's the best chance I can get to the Final Four.
Well, there's like multiple styles of transfers, right? Like look at this particular team that they've got right now. You've got Jaden Bradley. Do you know where he transferred from? Alabama. That's one of the top teams in the country this year. He could have been on a top 5 team this year, but you know what? He was behind Quintance, was it? What was the guy?
Quaintance,
yeah. So Quaintance, he was behind Quaintance. He wasn't getting as much playing time. He was a sophomore. He wanted to see more playing time. He saw an opening, came to Arizona. How about Keyshawn Johnson, right? He had already gone to a Final Four with San Diego State. Then he decided to come here for his 5th year because he could see that there was an opening at that position, that he could help out the Arizona brand, help out the Arizona program, make that next step. And I think guys like Townsend, I think Delorso fits in a different category. Delorso is a sophomore. Is that correct?
Junior.
Yeah. But Delorso clearly is looking 20-point scorer at a smaller college level last year. Kelvin, he's looking to develop strength and on-ball skills that could potentially get him to the NBA. I mean, that's really what he's looking for, that he wasn't going to be able to get going up in practice against Campbell practice players. That's another big reason he came here. To your point, Howie, I mean, there's a number of programs these days. It used to be that there were 10 programs in the country that could win a title, and if you were a junior or senior wanting to transfer, first of all, you'd have to sit out for a year. That was the old rules. Mm-hmm. But then you would be able to play for one of those programs. Now you're talking $3 million NIL from some booster, some company or whatever. Any single of the 365 programs in the country can offer money to players these days. Look at Rutgers, right? That's not a basketball school. They got 2 of the top 5 kids coming out of high school last year. Really, I think it's a matter of the coaching staff and the players currently on the roster and whether or not they're a good fit and unselfish guys. And Kelvin, I mean, if you look at what Houston's done, I just said it. This is their 4th consecutive 30-win season. Mm-hmm. So the coaching staff's got a good formula. And if you look to a man, what those guys are doing, they're unselfish. They got full buy-in on defense, and it's all about hustle. So if you're looking to maybe if you're a guy like, I don't even want to say it. If you're a really hustly guy and you're on a great team like Arizona and you want to look to a team to go to, Houston is a team like that, right? I mean, that's that team that's constantly in buy-in. And to have guys transfer into Arizona from those other big schools, it's got to be from playing time, Kelvin, or because they're offering something here that you're not getting elsewhere. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about a style of play that you feel like you need to add to your game to be able to increase your value at that next level. That's what it's all about these days.
Or get you to a national championship or Final Four, which is almost equivalent to one nowadays. You know? Yeah, I agree with you, but add that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Caleb Love just played a national championship 2 years ago.
Right.
And now his team isn't even going to maybe make the NCAA tournament this year that he left. So I don't know if that's a sinking ship. North Carolina is not going to probably make they're one of the teams that are considered to be out of the tournament right now. And he would be a 5th-year senior if he had stayed there. It's tough, man, because to me, the number one most important thing outside of skill and physicality is togetherness and chemistry. And I'm telling you, the best basketball team I ever saw at Arizona was not 97. It wasn't 2001. It was 1987-88. Is because those guys have been playing together forever. They're like a bunch of juniors and seniors that had come up as freshmen, sophomores, and juniors and seniors within the program. They all knew each other's tendencies inside and out. In the transfer portal era, it's just so tough to get that chemistry.
Yeah, you're not seeing that anymore.
Yeah, but, you know, they turned out to be a great team and won a national championship, but they finished 5th in the pack.
No,
during the regular season.
87, Howie. I said 87, 88,
87.
Not the 97 title team. I'm talking about Sean Elliott's junior year with all Steve Kerr's senior year. Not because they had great players or great NBA players, but because the way they played together, the way they understood each other's strengths and weaknesses and played off of that together, you know, that's a situation where you don't have 2 starters play 8 minutes and 5 minutes, right? Because, Kelvin, they're strong at all. They're strong on those switches. They're strong on being able to stay in front of a man and all those things and helping each other, help the helper and all that is almost like a second nature twin type of thing. You got to be able to understand what someone's thinking before they think it, Kelvin. That's how switching and scramble defense happens at this level. And, yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes guys get left open.
Yeah, you know, like in this game, there was, you know, guys on Houston that were just wide open from 3. I mean, there was nobody even around them. It's kind of weird.
Well, not really. We've seen it all year, Howie. We've seen it all year. Howie, we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you in the NCAA tournament, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks, Howie.
520-848-1290. We'll get another break in here. Come back, give you our best bets and more. 72-64, Houston over Arizona in the Big 12 Tournament Championship. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot post-game coverage of Arizona basketball rolls on. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The post-game show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Lexus of Tucson, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Honey, our yard looks like a jungle. It's full of weeds, and the neighbors are complaining, you know.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using just doesn't work. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
You know, it's not just the weeds. I'm also seeing ants and the spider, a scorpion. I saw a scorpion, and I think there's a pack rat living in the garage.
I get it.
It's scary.
I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today and get rid of them all.
You're the best, honey.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
If you're feeling overwhelmed by the thought of a home remodel, don't stress. The Window Depot is here to help. At the Window Depot, we're your one-stop warehouse for everything you need for your next remodel. Windows? Check. Doors? Got it. Cabinets, countertops, and everything in between? You'll find it all here at the lowest prices. Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or whole home makeover, our experienced designers are ready to bring your dream home to life, all at unbeatable prices. Find a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Most plumbing problems start with a 4-letter word: drip, leak, clog. Whatever your plumbing problem might be, you can trust Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to deliver fast, honest, and reliable service by a plumbing expert that will find the right solution for your plumbing problems. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Accidents cause hassles as big as the Grand Canyon.
So we're hitting the road to spread the word about the bird.
The Eagle at Goldberg and Osborne.
Freeway fiasco in Flagstaff.
Hurt in Havasu.
Totaled in Tucson.
No worries. The Eagle has offices across the state. From Kingman
to Sierra Vista, where they fight hard to get you more.
So relax and ride on.
Because the bird is the word.
Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better, Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
At University Termite and Pest Control, we handle all your pest problems. Maybe a few family ones, too.
Wait, you can even take care of my in-laws?
I always tell people we'll take care of anything, even in-laws. You just have to dig the hole.
Okay, but seriously, is it okay for our pets?
Absolutely. It's okay for pets, kids, anything you want to live, will live.
Call us today at University Termite and Pest Control. We'll squash those pests and enjoy it.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain, Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Bradley slides out top. Over to Love, fired inside. There is face artist slamming home.
Beautiful offense there by Arizona. Middle pick and roll, got it out quickly. Caleb Love finding Henry Baser like he has all season at the rim for a two-handed slam.
72-64, Houston Cougars knock off the Arizona Wildcats in the Big 12 Tournament Championship game. Let's see who's cashing tickets after this one.
Tucson, what happened with today's best bets? Did the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, Houston entered this game as a 6-point favorite, and they win it by 8. Kelvin Yvonne took Houston and laid that number, so that is a winning ticket for Kelvin. J-Dub and I took the Wildcats and the 6 points, so those are losing tickets. Arizona and Arizona and Houston played to 136.
That's right.
How about that?
I said barely over.
The over-under was 136.5. And they played a 136. So Kelvin continues his hot streak. Another double winner for Kelvin with the under at 136. I had the under as well, so I get one winning ticket tonight. J-Dub had the over, so that is 2 losing tickets for J-Dub. So Kelvin Yvonne continues to stay hot. Nice job, Kelvin.
Yeah, I didn't like that. You know, I wanted us to win. I was like, man, reverse psychology. Hopefully we get the dub. But, Houston, man, just tough, man, defensively. And I knew it would be tough for us to be able to score on the inside, and our guards were just going to have a great day.
Yeah, how about not taking 6 threes to end the game in the last 6 minutes, right?
Or make a couple.
What was working, what was working for them was going to the hole. And if they just didn't settle for those threes down the stretch, I think both those numbers would have changed because both teams, I think there was a really weird period there, guys, where both teams were scoring, right? Because, the way the game started, what was it, like 9-4 at the 10-minute mark or something like that? It looked like it was going to be finishing up at 43-40. But there was a stretch there where both teams were getting busy offensively. But down the stretch, Arizona just did not continue to do what was working for them. KJ layup, Jaden Bradley layup, a Toby Awaka layup, miss three, end of game.
There you go. So as of this moment, J-Dub's still on top, +4. Kelvin and I sitting at +2, but everybody is on the plus side of the season right now. There you go. Those are
Today, we're today's best bets, brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
72-64. Houston beats Arizona. It's Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
At University Termite and Pest Control, we handle all your pest problems. Maybe a few family ones, too.
Wait, you can even take care of my in-laws?
I always tell people we'll take care of anything, even in-laws. You just have to dig the hole.
Okay, but seriously, is it okay for our pets?
Absolutely. It's okay for pets, kids, anything you want to live, will live.
Call us today at University Termite and Pest Control. We'll squash those pests and enjoy it.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Motoring around one day, Bob heard all about it on the radio. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care advertising affordable tires and no hidden extras for one low price, including valve stems and the other critical tire thingies that cost additional elsewhere, but not at Jack Furrier's. Bob knows to never underestimate the importance of thingies. As cliches would have it, just then Bob spotted one of Jack Furrier's 14 locations and without hesitation claimed his new set of tires, installed for one low price, thingies included.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Looking to upgrade your home? The Window Depot is your go-to spot for Milgard windows and patio doors. Select from a variety of styles, including aluminum, vinyl, or fiberglass, to start your journey to a brighter, more beautiful home. The Window Depot has Milgard windows in stock, ready to go home today, or their team can help you with a special order. Whether you're looking for energy efficiency, aesthetic appeal, or custom solutions, they've got you covered. Build the home you deserve with Milgard windows and doors from the Window Depot. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's still free furnace season. For a limited time until the last day of winter, you can get a free furnace with the purchase and installation of a qualifying HVAC system. Now is the time to start planning for the long, hot Tucson summer. Hurry, this deal won't last long. For fast, reliable, and honest service, call Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
A A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain, Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Uzen moves out high left. They clear out space. Back and forth dribble. Drives him down to the baseline. Turns. Can't get the shot off. Feed it to Francis. Ball knocked away. Francis gets it back and slams it home.
Yeah, Arizona did a good job. Got a deflection. Broken play. Francis was able to scoop it up with a clear path to the rim.
Big play right there.
That was with 43 seconds left in the game, and Arizona was down 2. And they're this close to a steal, and it wound up being a dunk by them, which stretched out to a 4-point lead. And then it was just fouls after that.
72-64, your final. Arizona falls to Houston in the Big 12 Tournament Conference Championship game. Let's find out what we thought the Wildcats needed to do to win today.
Wildcats fans, how did today's keys to the game turn out for the U of A? Keys are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right, guys, for me, I think it's simple. I think you got to outshoot Houston today. There's no question about that. This is one of those games where you got to probably make 10-plus more threes and hope that they don't match you in 3-point shots. So you got to get those extra points with the 3 ball. I also think you've got to maybe force the issue and really try to make the referees call a lot of fouls in this game, because we know that what's your other strength? This is a very good free throw shooting team. So you got to try to get to the line as much as you can and drive up that score, because, again, the only way I think Arizona beats them, if you can get this game 70-plus, maybe even 70, it might even take getting it to 75-plus, that's going to mean that Arizona has a chance to win this contest tonight if they can drive the number up. And I think 3-point shooting and free throw shooting are the best ways to go for Arizona to try to do this today and pull this upset and beat the Houston Cougars. Well, they lost both those categories. Arizona hit just 5 of 18 from 3. That's 28%. Cougars shot and made 4 more threes, and they made 2 more free throws. Both teams went to the line 12 times. Houston made 11. Arizona made 9. Arizona really needed to kind of get into that 30 foul shot territory that they've been in at times this year. That was the only really way they were going to have a shot today, and they didn't get there.
I think right off the top, man, we have to guard Cryer, Usain, and Sharp. We cannot let those guys get going. We have to really lock down the perimeter. Houston is the type of team that really is about their guards scoring. Their bigs are more about doing dirty work. We have to play through the fouls. We have to play tough through the fouls, through the double team, through the physical play. Can't look for fouls. If the ref call them, great, but you have to play through it as if the refs are not going to call it if you want to win a championship. And then guards have to be aggressive. This is a guard game. When you get to this level of the playoff, Houston is going to double everything that get close to the paint. I think our guys are going to be able to have to knock down some shots, either threes or get to that mid-range and get to that mid-range and hit some of them pull-up jumpers.
17 of 43 their guards shot from the field in this ball game.
Actually, it was 53. Those are the 2 guards. 43 is for Cryer and Uzan, but
Wilson,
sorry, Sharp and Uzan. But if you add LJ Cryer, who Kelvin also mentioned, I just did the math, guys. You talk about how the bigs do the dirty work, Kelvin, in that cut right there. 87% of the shots today came from those 3 guards you just mentioned.
Yep, that's how they play ball, man. And I knew today was going to be a day that they was going to take away our bigs. I don't even think our bigs got 10 shots altogether today as far as being able to get shots up. So, our guards getting downhill and getting shots where they could rebound, put back was huge today, but we didn't quite get it done.
J-Dub's keys to the game.
Yeah, as usual, I'm similar to you guys. Number 1, I think you got to stay in front specifically of Uzan, because he's, again, the one who killed Arizona down the stretch in McHale. Really shifty, not an ultra-athletic guy, but his penetration late in that game versus Arizona and McHale was what led to that win. Stay in front of him, make sure that he doesn't get super open space there in the middle in the key. 50-50 balls is what Houston lives on. I mean, that's what they're known for. They're known for fighting for every single loose ball. You got to fight with them. So I'd like to see Arizona, as usual, do well on the boards. A +5, I think, would go a long way towards winning this. But mostly 50-50 balls, you got to fight for them. And Trey, Tobey, and KJ, and all the other guys, really, but those 3 guys specifically, bring the physicality to the University of Houston. I mean, they're going to be physical. They're going to trap hard. We all know that. Show them what's up. Show them what West Coast basketball is all about, Kelvin Yfan. Show them that this reputation is not true and that we can bring an intensity as anybody in the country, and that will go a long way towards winning their first Big 12 tournament championship. I like the intensity. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I think some of the defensive lapses, talked about those 2 open threes in the first half, some sloppy ball handling down the stretch, but I don't think anything had to do, Kelvin, with a fight or intensity or physicality or any of those things. I think Arizona, hopefully we'll have a chance to hear from Coach Kelvin Sampson, because I'm sure he'll say the same thing, Kelvin, which is that Arizona came and matched every bit of the intensity that Houston Cougars brought.
Speaking of intensity, can we play that cut from Tommy Lloyd when they had him mic'd up, or the mic was in the huddle? We talked about how he was Mr. Laid Back in the pregame show, but this sounded anything but laid back from Tommy Lloyd during the game.
Let's go! Come on, we gotta do the simple play, CB. You gotta be caught. You gotta be caught. They're gonna go for the ball. They're gonna go for the ball. Just squeeze it, keep it high, and they got nothing.
Gotta be tough. Gotta be tough. Squeeze the ball. Hold it high. He was slapping down at the guys.
On their leg. Wake up.
Slapping at the ball.
Wake up.
Yeah.
You know, it's the thing where, as a coach, man, a lot of times we do a lot of acting, right? You understand the emotion. You know your guys got to match that emotion and that intensity, and you try to raise yours to show them, like, hey, come with me. I'm here. Let's get it done. You guys are on the court, but I need y'all to match these guys' intensity. Matter of fact, exceed their intensity. So, as a coach, you just over there trying to do everything you can to motivate those guys to go out there and battle.
Here's the thing. If you're red-faced and yelling and spittle's coming out every single time out, after time, you kind of come off as a clown, and the players start to see you that way. But if you're Coach Lloyd, who's constantly stoic and he's over there on the sidelines not acting crazy, and then he gets into you like that, Kelvin, that's a meaningful moment, and those players know, because he's not like that on a regular basis. And I'm not even talking about college ball as much as the NBA and guys who are just that like acting like you're super animated and just to try to get the energy level up. If you're constantly up at that level, eventually, after time, guys stop listening to that. But if you're a guy who's very thoughtful and you're giving guys the X's and O's all the time, like Coach Lloyd, I think maybe he and his buddy from Texas Tech had dinner last night after that game, because he sounded in that huddle, DK, pretty similar to Coach McCaslin. A little bit of extra energy from Coach Lloyd, and he knew his players were going to need it today, Kelvin. You're going up against Houston Cougars. There is no 90%. Got to be 100% the whole time.
All right, that's what we thought the Wildcats needed to do today to beat the Houston Cougars.
Wildcats fans, that's a look at your keys to the game. They're brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
520-848-1290 is the number. Let's hear from Arnie. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Gameday, the postgame show.
Yeah, I've got a quick question for you. Hasn't Trey Townsend had a great, until today, been playing great in the tournament?
He had, yeah.
Why did he only get 8 minutes? No one could answer that question for me.
Well, the only way I can answer it is Coach all year has went on his gut feeling. And we've seen it with several guys on this team, especially Daryl also. But when he's got his gut feeling that things are it's not your game, he moves on and go ahead whichever way he's going to go.
So he determined that in 8 minutes of play.
Yeah, and I think 4 for Del Orso. Was it 5?
So Del Orso, yeah, he always gets cut out. But Townsend, how did he do against Texas Tech?
Pretty good. He had good nights in both the the first two games.
So how do you play that man only 8 minutes? No one will convince me that that's good coaching. I've been around a long time. I'm 70 years old, from New York City, have seen it all, NBA, NCAA, everything. I cannot believe that Townsend played 8 minutes in the total for a total game. I mean, it's beyond my comprehension.
I think the best way, Arnie, to look at it is matchup based, in that he got 5 minutes in the first half and 3 in the second half. And in those matchups, and Kelvin, I'd like your opinion on this, but when Houston is hunting mismatches on the perimeter and their guards are getting loose, I just said it, 89% of the shots taken today were by their 3 guards. And I think what Coach Lloyd, the reason that he played quite well versus Texas Tech and only got 8 minutes versus Houston today is because they're actively hunting mismatches on the perimeter. They had open threes early on in that game. Coach Lloyd was trying to prevent any more, and he was seeing a deficiency there, Kelvin, from Townsend getting switched off onto guards, and decided that he maybe wanted to go with a little bit more length with Carter Bryant and Henry Vasar. Now, is that the right decision? Arnie, I'm not ever going to be here questioning a guy who gets paid $5 million, $4 million a year to coach basketball. I mean, those are their decisions to make and live with. I like the way that Terry Townsend's played this whole tournament after coming back from the concussion. And I understand the decision to be made there is really lineup-based and style-based. And what Houston's trying to do is get guys, Kelvin, who maybe don't move their feet as well on the perimeter to keep guards in front of them, and hunting mismatches on those switches. That's, to me, probably the main reason. In addition to, he just liked Carter Bryant in that same exact spot a little bit better. Kelvin?
Yeah, I think he liked Carter Bryant in that spot a little bit better, because I think he wanted one more three-point shoot on the floor today to try to open up the lane a little bit to get some driving lanes for the guards to kind of get in there. So I think that just canceled Trey out a little bit. Trey didn't even shoot a 3 today. He only was 0 for 2 as far as field goal. And I think what Coach was looking for, and the same thing out of Del Orso, is for those guys to make an imprint on the offensive end, right away. And if they don't, I think from there, they'll kind of become a matchup liability.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 70% of your game is offense, Kelvin, and 30, I mean, what's Del Orso? Like, maybe, not to say I wouldn't call Del Orso a bad defender by any stretch, but he's also 20 pounds lighter than he needs to be able to push around guys. In that type of game, I mean, you saw him in the interior. So clearly it is a matchup issue for that situation. But when you're a guy who's 70% offense, 30% defense is why you're on the court, and you're not scoring buckets, and there's a guy on the bench who's 70% defense and 30% offense, Kelvin, I think that's just the decision being made behind the scenes.
Yeah, I agree with your comments about Del Orso. He that was a wise decision not playing him much, and I love Bryant. But I still can't understand. Nobody will convince me how a guy who's had such a great tournament gets 8 minutes. You can't determine everything in 8 minutes of play. And somebody mentioned, I think you mentioned that, he was 0 for 2. Well, if you did that to Love all year, if he missed his first 2 shots, he wouldn't have played this year.
Well, Arnie, I think Kelvin just explained it to you. It wasn't about the shots; it was about the matchups, and the matchups just did not work in his favor for this particular game.
Well, I disagree, but
right. No, that's fine.
Yeah, I totally don't buy it.
All right, Arnie, we thank you for calling. Appreciate your call.
Take care.
All right.
Thank you.
Final thoughts, Kelvin.
Well, I don't think they have anything to hang their head about. I think they went in and they battled. They were a 4 seed. They ended up in the championship, had a chance to beat the number 1 seed. That last learning lesson that you need before you go into the tournament, they got it today, and that they're going to have to finish games. They're going to have to finish. It's been a few other games this year. I guarantee you they can go back in the last 5 minutes that they wish they could change. Now they got to put it all together, have that one players meeting, that last players meeting, say, hey, guys, we got to get over this hump now. It's now or never. So, again, nothing to hang their head about. finished fourth in the conference, finished second in the tournament. Now it's time to go play some NCAA playoff basketball.
Kelvin, we talked a lot about the Gonzagas potentially in 20 years ago and Arizona in the 80s having not necessarily the strongest stretch of games leading up into the NCAA tournament. Well, the flip side of that is how much does it help to play the toughest, most aggressive defensive team in the entire country 5 days before your first NCAA tournament game?
Yeah, and Texas Tech. Let's not forget about them. I think this is probably the most prepared I've seen an Arizona team be in years as far as conference play is concerned, because that matters. That matters who you play in conference and how on edge you have to be. And I think they kind of have experienced that edge, and it should help them out going into, as I said, tournament play because you've been through some ups and downs, and now you know what the competition look like. Now you're going to figure out if you're going to execute or not.
All right, Kelvin, we will talk to you tomorrow. We will see you again for the tournament, whether that's Thursday or Friday, we'll find out tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Bear down, guys.
Kelvin Efon, he is the captain, and it was a loss today for the Wildcats, 72-64 to Houston. We will have a little bit more to get to your scoreboard, and we'll wrap it up after this on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot post-game coverage of Arizona basketball rolls on. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The post-game show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Lexus of Tucson, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Honey, our yard looks like a jungle. It's full of weeds, and the neighbors are complaining,
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using just doesn't work. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
It's not just the weeds. I'm also seeing ants and the spider, a scorpion. I saw a scorpion, and I think there's a pack rat living in the garage.
I get it.
It's scary.
I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today and get rid of them all.
You're the best, honey.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl,
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Stars are shining down on Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle has more than 2,200 five-star Google reviews from across Arizona.
like these.
They go that extra mile to let you know they care. A wonderful experience.
They treat their clients like family, and their professionalism is the best in the business.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
Well said, everyone. After any accident, remember, the bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THE-EAGLE.com.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Autumn Nation.
Looking to upgrade your home? The Window Depot is your go-to spot for Milgard windows and patio doors. Select from a variety of styles, including aluminum, vinyl, or fiberglass, to start your journey to a brighter, more beautiful home. The Window Depot has Milgard windows in stock, ready to go home today, or their team can help you with a special order. Whether you're looking for energy efficiency, aesthetic appeal, or custom solutions, they've got you covered. Build the home you deserve with Milgard windows and doors from the Window Depot. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Uzan, back and forth dribble, now matched up on Awaka, drives on him, runner up and good for Uzan, and he has been the offense in the second half of the Cougars. They lead it by 4.
Miles Uzan, 25 points on 8 of 16 from the floor. He made 4 threes, 5 of 5 from the line. 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Did not turn the ball over in 37 minutes. That's pretty impressive.
That's my pest.
There you go. He was a pest indeed. Let's take a look at the scoreboard for today.
Let's take a look at what happened around the rest of the country. The college basketball scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
All right, first and foremost, there has been another update to the bracketology that came, it's been a while actually, right about 6 o'clock earlier. Arizona's still a 4 seed, but now Joe Lunardi has moved them from the west to the south. Wow. So they are now a 4 seed in the South.
Now, here's the
playing
problem.
in Denver.
Here's the problem, DK.
Yeah.
It used to be, it still is, that your preferable seed is based on region. So if you're the best 4, you'll get preferable spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, in the Pac-12, it's a no-brainer. Where does Arizona play? They're in the West.
Right.
But now that Arizona plays in a Southern Conference, right? I mean, I don't know how that works. Like, there's obviously what's called the pod system. So that's why there's a game in Denver, which clearly isn't in the South,
right, yeah,
being played in the South bracket. So I think more than anything, like we said yesterday, Seattle was an option, or San Francisco if they're in the West. Denver much closer to Tucson, so giving them, that's got to be a bump. They didn't get lowered from their play in the last 3 days in this tournament, right?
Right.
They definitely got a bump up. So maybe even though they're in the South, projected in the South, that Denver, Open is a preferred stop for Arizona fans than going up to Seattle.
So it is now obviously a whole different looking picture than what we were talking about earlier. Arizona is a 4 in the South against High Point. I think that's High Point's in North Carolina. And then Clemson is the team on the 5 line. It was Oregon in the West. But so Arizona, Clemson, and the one in this region, it figures to be the Auburn Tigers still. So there you go. It would be now Auburn potentially being the roadblock to the Elite Eight. So we shall see how that all plays out. But that's
I think for me, bracketology is fun, like as far as seeding goes. But as far as the actual regions and how they're organized, in my experience, it's so impossible for one person, Lenardi, even if he has a crew of 50 people working with him, to accurately predict where people will be slotted in each region. It's just impossible.
Final scores today: Duke wins the ACC tournament championship with a 73-62 win over Louisville, despite no Cooper Flagg. Con Knuppel scored 18 points and had 8 rebounds. Memphis over Tulane, 78-77. That was the American Conference semifinals. And other games in the top 25, Maryland loses to Michigan. Michigan is the team now that Lenardi has replaced Arizona with on that 4 line in the West. So they're now the 4 seed in the West. 81-80, Michigan over Maryland. They'll play Wisconsin in the final. Wisconsin beat Michigan State 77-74. Florida and Tennessee will play in the SEC championship tomorrow. The Gators beat Alabama 104-82. The Vols beat Auburn 70-65. St. John's wins their first Big East tournament championship in 25 years. 2000 was the last time St. John's won the Big East tournament.
Who was on that team? I remember that team.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So St. John's, DK, finished the season 19-1 in their last 20 games. You want to take a guess who they lost to?
Xavier.
It was the team that just fired their coach today.
Oh, Villanova.
Yeah, so they only lost in the last 20 games of the season. Was a 73-71 loss to Villanova.
Kevin Kruger is also fired by UNLV today. He replaced TJ Olsberger, who is now doing his thing at Iowa State. TJ had been hired there by Desiree Reed-Francois. Then she left. They brought in Kevin Kruger, and he is done after 4 seasons.
Yeah. Kruger was hired by her, right?
I don't think
4 years. That's a weird window because I think she was at Missouri after that.
I think she left right before TJ left.
Real quick, back to St. John's. I remember that team. That was on Ron Artest's St. John's team.
Yeah. Ron Artest.
Back in 99, 2000.
That's some good stuff right there. Bryant is in the tournament. They win their conference. Norfolk State is in the tournament. They win their conference. So congratulations to those teams for punching tickets to the NCAA tournament. Let's let you know what's happening on campus here real quick. Arizona softball played today. First, let's tell you about Arizona Beach volleyball. They split their 2 games out at the Long Beach Invitational. They beat Cal State Bakersfield today 3-2, and then they lost to the host 49ers or just the Beach, whatever they're calling themselves now. 4-1 was the score there in that particular tournament for the Arizona Beach volleyball team. Arizona baseball is playing tonight against Cincinnati. It's game 2 of that series, and right now over at High Corbett Field.
Run rule.
Is it over?
It's 14-1 in the 5th.
14-1 in the 5th. There you go.
Good guys.
Softball wins again. They beat Utah a little bit tougher today, but they win it 8-6. The final there. And that's a look at your local scoreboard. We will have baseball for you tomorrow here on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's an 11 a.m. game. Our coverage will start at 10:45. Brody Dryden will be on the call. So you'll have baseball tomorrow at 10:45 coverage. You'll have Tommy Lloyd's show tomorrow at 2 o'clock from the Union Public House, where they are having the selection show party. We'll be there as well for you 3 to 5. So we'll walk you through the revealing of the brackets and get some reaction from Tommy Lloyd after he finds out where his team is going, and we'll get your reaction as well. We'll be on there tomorrow from 3 to 5. 3 to 5 with our NCAA tournament selection show special. And then it's on to the big dance. Anxious to find out where the Wildcats are going to be playing. J-Dub, any final thoughts on this one?
No, I think we said it all. I think Arizona definitely came to match the intensity of Houston, which you have to do to compete with that team. And a few mistakes down the stretch, ball handling errors, didn't like the shot selection in the last 5 minutes, but I can't really point towards anything, DK, other than Houston's shot making. And you have to tip your cap. That team, 19-1 in the regular season, they dominated the regular season. They won today versus Arizona because of their shot making. So congratulations to Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars. Very, very well-deserved double title this year, and really looking forward to seeing where Arizona's slotted and what kind of matchups they have in the first couple of rounds. First round of the NCAA tournament. Let's look ahead. But really looking forward to Selection Sunday, one of my favorite holidays of the year, DK.
Indeed. It is a whole lot of fun for sure. Everybody will have their brackets and ready to fill them out. All right, that is going to wrap it up for us. Thanks to Dusty Dale, who spun the dials on the FM side today, 107.5. He always does a tremendous job over there. David Amata, Dragon Ball on the AM side here, 102 or 1290, I should say, 102, 1290, as he does always. And we thank you for listening all day long to Arizona basketball. For J.W. Madden and Kelvin Efon, my name is David Kelly. That final score one more time from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. I never saw a final total on attendance on this one. They did not put it on the stat sheet, so I can't tell you what that is, but I can tell you the final score. Miles Uzon had 25 points, and the Houston Cougars win not only the regular season title, but they win the tournament title in the Big 12, beating your Arizona Wildcats 72-64. We'll talk to you tomorrow for Selection Show Sunday. Until that time, bear down, Arizona.
Bear down, Wildcat Nation. You've been listening to our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day post-game show has been brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. Join us right here on Game Day for complete coverage of Arizona basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Flip down on the other side again because they've got massive injuries to their pitching. They let Tucker go, traded him, and let Bregman go out the door. The Astros have been almost unbeatable in that division for the better part of a decade. Who's going to be able to jump up and beat them? Anybody?
Yeah, that's a good question. I keep thinking the last 2 or 3 years, and including this year, that Astros empire is finally about to crumble. They're not the team they were. They're getting older. And you look at it this year, Jose Altuve, they're moving out to left field, so that they can play Mauricio Dubon at second base, who, by the way, he's not a marquee name, but he puts the ball in play. I like him. I think that's going to be a good addition to Houston. They added Christian Walker from Arizona. But you're right about their pitching. I mean, they've got, Christian Javier is out right now. Lance McCullers Jr. keeps teasing everybody, but he's always hurt. Luis Garcia is hurt. They can't. I want to say that they can't keep this up for very much longer. But to your question, in the American League West, the team that has the pitching to beat them is Seattle, but Seattle just won't spend money, and Jerry DiPoto makes all these trades, and clearly, at first it was like, what's this guy doing? He won't develop chemistry. It's way too many trades. It's people coming and going. But what's become clear over time is he's doing all this wheeling and dealing, trying to stay ahead of contracts that are going to expire and financial decisions that he's going to have to make, hard ones, because the ownership just won't give him much money. I mean, they make a gob of money up in Seattle. They're the only show in town, so to speak, up in the Pacific Northwest. And the fans love that team, despite recent frustration with that team. The fans still love them. They come out to the ballpark, and the Mariners make money, and the ownership doesn't want to put much of it back in. Now, the rotation, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, really good. Might be the best in baseball. And George Kirby, who just went down with an injury. He's got a sore shoulder, and he's probably going to open on the injured list. But when you get Kirby in there with Gilbert, Castillo, Miller, and Wu, I mean, that might be, even though, you don't know their names like we once knew Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, but that Mariners, that rotation, that might be the best rotation in all of baseball. They've got the pitching to win, but if they can figure out that offensive component, and I think the change in managers, Dan, I was in their camp a couple weeks ago, by the way, and it's a different vibe, and it was a different vibe once they replaced Scott Service with Dan Wilson last year, and they changed hitting coaches, and they've got a philosophy this last year that they're continuing into the spring. They're pounding it into their hitters to basically hit the ball up the middle from the left center gap to the right center gap. And they've eased up a little bit on the analytics and, let's try to hit the ball out of the park every time. They've realized that wasn't working. So if they can figure out that offense, the Mariners are a team that could upend Houston.
All right, I got a couple other American League teams I want to ask you about. I thought the Red Sox had one of the better off seasons. Bregman was a big piece. They trade and pick up Crochet, and they signed Walker Buehler. Those are three pretty damn good players. But they're already hurt. Yoshida's hurt. Cutter Crawford's hurt. Giolito's hurt. Devers, at least today, walked back the I won't DH, I'm a third baseman thing. And Bregman hasn't played anywhere else but third base all spring, so you know what the team wanted to do. I guess he's finally figured it out and or accepted it. What kind of team do you think the Red Sox are going to be competing in the American League East? If the Yankees have their problems with injuries to their pitching staff, the division could be there for the taking. Red Sox right there with the Orioles on being able to dethrone the Yankees?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm glad you brought the Red Sox up right now when we're leaving the Houston-Seattle discussion, because Alex Bregman, I really like. That guy is a winner, and he's gritty, and he's a team-first player, and he'll do what it's win. And that's going to be a big loss for Houston, and it's going to be a big addition for Boston. And I think Bregman's bat in Fenway Park is going to play well. And, yeah, I agree with you. Good off-season, Crochet leading the rotation, and theoretically most of those innings limits he was on last year should be off. Walker Buehler, I really like the compete in him as well. He's a fiery guy. The thing that worries me, it's not unique to me, but coming off, his second Tommy John surgery, you always have to watch that because not everybody can come back. But, if I had to bet on a player to come back from the second Tommy John or to be fiery or to take the ball in relief for one of the first times ever in a World Series like he did last year, I would bet on Walker Buehler. So, yeah, I like the Red Sox a lot. Orioles are frustrating for me because they certainly have such a good young team. But I say they're frustrating to me because kind of like what we just talked about with Seattle. The Orioles, they're on the precipice of winning, but they won't spend those extra few dollars to get the extra player or two that maybe could put them over the top. I mean, last year at the trade deadline was disappointing. They didn't do much to help the team, and consequently, some of those young players, went a little south second half of last season, and the Orioles, they had a really good first half, but they couldn't put a full season together. The Yankees obviously have some huge issues now with Garrett Cole being out for the year and Luis Gil starting the season on the injured list. Giancarlo Stanton, I don't understand that one, by the way. I mean, he barely was in spring training long enough to have breakfast and dinner before he had to leave because both of his elbows were sore. I mean, that he's always been fragile, and he's always been in and out of their lineup. But certainly everything I just mentioned with the Yankees, plus losing Juan Soto, is going to open the door all of a sudden it isn't necessarily the Yankees' divisional win. And, yeah, I think Boston could be a dark horse, especially if Giolito and then get some of their pitching back. And Orioles are going to be there, but I don't know if they've done enough to put themselves over the top.
All right, we're running late, so I do want to get one question in on the ABS system. I was not a big fan when it was adopted just as a trial run here in spring training. I've been anti-robo-ump forever. I got to admit, it's actually run pretty well, and it's very quick. They challenge, they get the look at it. It's like less than 10 seconds, and you find out whether it's yes a strike or not a strike, or yes a ball or no ball. What have you seen? What have you liked? Do you think it's a foregone conclusion that it's rubber stamped as a challenge starting next year?
Yeah, I think if not next year, the year after, but probably next year. I think we're really close, and I think a reaction like you just laid out for yourself, I think that's one reason we're close. I think not just you, but I think the players, the managers, I think everybody had a chance now to see how it works. I think now they won't be afraid of it. They're like, yeah, this is pretty good. It works pretty well. So I do think we're going to see it. My reaction's similar to yours. I think that it's been pretty good. I like the quickness of it. I mean, it's funny because, I've been home this weekend. I've been watching a lot of the college basketball conference tournaments. And when I'm not writing baseball, I'm a college hoops junkie. And I bring that up only because the one thing about college basketball is, oh, my gosh, these replays the referees watch and take timeouts for. And, it really interrupts the rhythm of the game. And you can see it almost every college basketball game. And back at the ABS system, like you said, it's quick. It doesn't really interrupt the flow. I think that's one. The two biggest things to me are the accuracy, and it seems to be pretty good. How accurate is it? And then second to that is it going to muck up the rhythm of the game? And as you said, it's been pretty quick. I think those are the two most important things. And I think baseball is pretty close to nailing it.
Understood, and you and I see it exactly the same there. All right, why baseball managers matter and always will. The next tome coming out from Scott Miller for the diehard baseball fans out there who enjoyed your previous books. How can they and best get their hands on why baseball managers matter and always will?
Yeah, appreciate you bringing that up, Jody. And it comes out on May 13th. It's available for pre-order now. So you can, anybody that's interested, you can go to wherever you like to buy books online, Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, pretty much anywhere. And you just Google, Skipper is the name of the book, as you mentioned, and my name, and it'll come up, and you can pre-order it. Now, if you pre-order it now, you'll still get it on May 13th, the day it comes out. But, yeah, really happy with it. A couple people that have read it early in the baseball industry, publisher always sends out a couple early books, hoping for good reviews, hoping maybe for some nice blurbs they can put on the back of the book when it's published. A couple of those people that have read it early, the reviews have been better than I could have ever hoped for.
Nice.
So I hope that sets the tone for some things to come. I hope people like it. It's been a 2.5-year labor of love, and it covers about the last 50 years of managing, from the Earl Weaver days and Sparky Anderson and Billy Martin when managers ruled with an iron fist, to the managers we have today and how they have to collaborate with the front office and the analytics people. It goes from then to now, and it covers how we got from then to now, why we got from then to now. Maybe your favorite manager will have been interviewed. I talked to about 200 people for the book, a ton of stuff from current managers, previous managers, players, executives, all over the place. So hopefully, really excited about it, and May 13th is release date.
I will certainly be getting you back on before May 13th when the book is actually out. But I'll get you back on to talk all things baseball with me as well. Scotty, always a pleasure. Thanks, bud.
You too, Jody. Take care, my friend.
Scott Miller, longtime MLB writer and author. His books are very good, and I'm looking forward to reading his manager book coming up. All right, ran long. Got to get a break in here. 855-212-4227. Jody Mack coming back to get you on the lines.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
The jungle has moved afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from noon till 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things homeownership. Rocket. Own the dream.
What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? What if you could create more impact in every decision? What if you had a partner as visionary as you are? With Bank of America, you get access to our trusted experts, real-time insights, and digital tools. So whether you run a local shop or a global enterprise, you're backed by business solutions to make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
I love my weekend rides across Arizona. I travel with all the protection I need. Helmet, gloves, leathers, and the Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle fights hard to help injured riders across the state. Whether we're cruising through Carefree, slow riding in Sedona, or breezing through Bisbee, they find you doctors, manage medical bills, and get you back on your bike with the most money possible. Injured riding? The bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THE-EAGLE.com.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
Smart solutions to eliminate bugs, bees, and weeds this spring.
Science nerds, choose Essential.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Enjoy up to 70% off premium products. Designer handbags, gift cards from national chains, autographed sports memorabilia, cruises, hotel accommodations, and more. SweetDeals.com. Click Premium.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. mail. Billed monthly.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Zach Gelb. Keep it locked in right here for every layup, jump shot, and slam dunk of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is appointment listening.
Be tuned, be planned, circle it on your calendar. This should be the highlight of your week.
This is the Jody Mack Show. Here's Jody Mack.
Appreciate my guy, Scotty Miller, for jumping in, talking all things baseball. And yes, we are only 2 days away, 2.5, because we're still on Saturday. At least we are here. No, we're Saturday everywhere. Got another half hour here on the East Coast. Tuesday, day one of the MLB season, as you heard from Scott. Second year in a row. Thanks for reminding me, Mr. Miller. I forgot that they played in Korea last year. So a little extra work. It was Padres-Dodgers last year, Cubs-Dodgers this year. That's just too heavy a burden to throw on the Dodgers. They can't possibly come back and win another championship, although they have far and away the best roster of any team in baseball. I'm looking forward to talking baseball with you guys all season long. I'll talk baseball, I'll talk basketball, college or pro, mix in a little golf and some horse racing, and, of course, the NFL. Bryce from Hamburg gets on here to talk about one particular team's free agent move. Hello, Bryce.
Hi, Jody. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
I have a question. Actually, I want your comments and thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Bills ownership, Terry and Kim Pagula, the Bills are one of the best teams in the league, and they're building a brand new stadium across the street. Compared to their hockey team, they're going 14 years without a playoff. And I was a young boy growing up in the 70s when the Flyers would beat the Sabres, and I would be crying myself to sleep. Somebody brought it up. I think the fans still come out to see the Sabres. Well, I mean, that's great. We won the other night against Vegas Knights, one of the best teams in the league. But it was a shootout. I mean, it's not like it's 3-1, 5-2. It's like, really? So I was just wondering if you had any. Oh, and one more thing. I'm sorry about the Joey Bosa.
Yes.
I think I did mention that.
Well, you mentioned it to the producer, and he put it on the call screener, so I knew you were going to bring it up. And I think that's a good move. I know that Bosa his brother has surpassed him as a more feared pass rusher, but Bosa's pretty great in his own damn right. And to be able to add him while you're losing Miller, I think that's a pretty good move by the Bills. I thought that was the AFC East has been so weird in free agency. Patriots spending a lot of money. I'm a big Milt Williams guy because I'm a Philly guy and I watched him play for the Eagles last 4 years. Over $100 million for Milt Williams. Wow. I like the Justin Fields signing with the Jets. Is that going to be enough to make the Jets competitive in the division? Don't know about that. They got a lot more work to do. Miami's done nothing to excite me with their free agent moves. So the Bills should win that division again by default. And making an addition for a guy like Joey Bosa is surely going to help. Jody Mack here with you on the Infinity Sports Network. Calls to the top of the hour. I am going to punch up a football guest. Mike Yam from the NFL Network is going to join me. We haven't quite locked in whether it's going to be at the top of hour 3 or the top of hour 4. He's going to jump in, so you need to stay tuned because I'll tell you how open my phone lines are. They're wide open right now. You buzz, you're next. 855-212-4227. We'll come back, take more of your calls, take more of your tweets. Oh, by the way, still looking for the best tweet, which I like to call Mac Daddy tweeted today. Got a couple decent ones. I know they can be topped. Send your tweets directly to me at Jody MacMahon, JodyMacMan. Bottom of the hour, time for Infinity Sports Flash. Here's Dexter Henry.
Infinity Sports Network Sports Flash.
All right, Mac Man, thank you. Plenty of college basketball conference tournament action on Saturday. And we start in the Big Apple and the Big East tournament title game where St. John's, they had a big second half, which was led by R.J. Lewis Jr.
Kadari Richmond, right side quarter court in the lane. Bounces it to Smith, goes baseline. Baseline three. Good for R.J. Lewis. And just like that, we're even at 38.
That's John Menko on the call. Lewis Jr. scored 27 of his game-high 29 points in the second half. Zuby Ejiofor added 20 as the Johnnies won their first Big East tournament title in 25 years, crushing Creighton 82-66. In the ACC, Duke got some good news before their tournament title game against Louisville.
But we understand from communication with Duke and the ACC that Cooper Flag will be available for the NCAA tournament, so don't expect that to impact their seeding.
That's Dan Gavitt, NCAA Senior Vice President of Men's Basketball. Duke star Cooper Flag suffered an ankle injury during the team's ACC tournament opener on Thursday. He will be available for the NCAA tournament. The number one team in the country without Flag took care of business in the ACC title game. Tyrese Proctor delivered a team-high 19 points as the Blue Devils down the 13th-ranked Cardinals 73-62. Over to the SEC, the tournament final is now set. 2 semifinal matchups on Saturday. In Nashville, the Volunteers pulled off the upset. Zakai Ziegler scored 20 points. Number 8 Tennessee, they held off the regular season champion and third-ranked Auburn 70-65 on Saturday. They reached the SEC tournament championship for the first time since 2022. In the other SEC semifinal matchup, Florida, they dominated. Walter Clayton Jr. scored a game-high 22. The Gators, they ground Alabama 104-82. So Florida and Tennessee, they're going to play in the SEC championship game on Sunday. The Gators and Volunteers, they split the 2-game season series. Both teams won on their home courts. In NFL news, according to multiple reports, free agent wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, he's returning to the Chiefs on a 1-year deal. In NBA news, according to ESPN's Shams Charania, Knicks captain Jalen Brunson, he's expected to be out through late March or early April while recovering from his right ankle sprain. I'm Dexter Henry.
Hi, this is Arizona Wildcats softball head coach Caitlin Lowe, and you're listening to the home of Arizona Athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on PrizePicks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is so simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the PrizePicks app today, use the code ROAM, and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on PrizePicks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credit just for playing, and it's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
At University Termite and Pest Control, we handle all your pest problems. Maybe a few family ones, too.
Wait, you can even take care of my in-laws?
I always tell people we'll take care of anything, even in-laws. You just have to dig the hole.
Okay, but seriously, is it okay for our pets?
Absolutely. It's okay for pets, kids, anything you want to live will live.
Call us today at University Termite and Pest Control. We'll squash those pests and enjoy it.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com. Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly. Jim Rome takes on sports.
I've been doing this show for decades and decades and decades.
With rapid-fire takes.
Learn how to stop it, learn how to run it, or at least make a good argument. I don't even like to play. I've never fought so hard to defend something I don't like.
Scorching debates.
You can beef about anything you want. Why are you pushing me?
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
Just so you all know, this is no one-off. This is what we're going to get every single day.
Let's go, Jim!
Let's go!
The Jim Rome Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Don't miss out on any of the action.
Touchdown, Arizona.
Holy smokes, this offense is explosive.
As the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
Under pressure, and the ball is loose. The Cats have got it. Back to throw. Here comes the rush. Steps up in the pocket. Rolling right. Fire on the right. Got a man open. Nobody's going to catch him. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Arizona.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Last year's over, and this team's moving
Wildcat
forward.
fans, this is Chip Hale, baseball head coach for the University of Arizona. You are listening to the home of Arizona athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Return you to the Jody Mack Show, already in progress. Here's Jody Mack.
J Mack here with you on the Infinity Sports Network. I got solid 20 minutes left to this hour, and then we got 2 more hours to play. I am guaranteeing you that NFL Network studio host Mike Yam is going to jump in with me and talk about the NFL free agent frenzy this week. The one thing we don't know is what time Mike's going to jump in. It could be the top of next hour, or it might not be till the top of my 4th and final hour. As of now, it's trending that Mike's going to come on coming up in less than 20 minutes from now. But that is not 100% for sure. What is 100% for sure is I'm going to take your calls till the top of the hour, and I got open lines right now. I'm going to get Alan and Robert up here in a second. But other than that, you're up. 855-212-4227. This portion of the show brought to you by Ethos Life. The easy way to get life insurance in just about 10 minutes. Up to $2 million in coverage, no less, with no medical exam and just a few health questions. Get your free quote today at checkethos.com. Not available in all states. All right, back to the phones we go. Alan from Toronto first. How are you tonight, Alan?
Hats off to Stevie Cohen. Hey, big spender. I'm a Mets fan, and you've given me everything I wanted in the last year or so. They were 75 and 87 the previous year, but look at the giant strides that they made. They went up the ladder, 89 and 73, and they rolled through two playoff rounds before bowing out to the Dodgers in Dodgerville. And I'm mighty encouraged the way they went. Last year they defeated Milwaukee 2-1 in the wild card, and the Phillies 3-1 in the division series. And look at how much he spent too. The last 4 years that he's been in the league since he bought the team, the Mets have doled out $1.36 billion in payroll and luxury tax, and that's more than the Marlins, the Rays, and the Pirates doled out in 21 years that they've been in the league. And the Athletics have spent $269 million in payroll last year, and the Pirates in the last 4 years, and the Pirates 271. His luxury tax alone is almost as much as the Pirates and the Athletics. So I'm glad that he's the George Steinbrenner, the modern day George Steinbrenner. He's been fantastic the last 4 years. And
he is not afraid to
down Canyon of Heroes. Don't rule it out. It might be.
He is not afraid to put his money where his mouth is. That is Steve Cohen, and he's rich enough that he can do that. They, for me, went a little cheap on the pitching this year, and Montas and Minaya already got hurt, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Soto is going to be a massive addition for their lineup. Keeping Alfonso was a smart move, at least as far as I'm concerned. They didn't have to go to the mega long contract. They got it done for only 3 years. So they've made some good moves. David Stearns is a good general manager. They're going to be very difficult in that division. The NL East is going to be a really good division this year because the Phillies won 90-plus last year, and I think they improved their starting pitching, and they've got depth. They've got the young kid Painter coming back at some point. They're going to be able to slide him in. Jesus Luzardo added from Washington. So the Phillies are going to be as good as their starting pitching will carry them. The Braves owned the division for the better part of a half a decade, but last year lost their best pitcher and their best player, Acuna and Strider. And I just read today, now this is not from the Braves. They have not gone on record as to when they're going to get their best pitcher back and their best player back. But a very good writer who covers the Braves speculated that Spencer Strider will probably miss the first 3 weeks of the season. Mid to late June, he should be back, but that's a good, solid 2.5, 3 weeks. He's not going to be part of their rotation. And they did watch their second-best pitcher up and sign with the Yankees. So they're going to have to prove some things. And Acuna, who I hear is just killing it in batting practice, but they're very skittish about getting him into games. He hasn't played in any spring training games. They announced pretty early on that he wasn't going to play any spring training games. So when the season gets underway, he will start it in the minor leagues, doing rehab, and they might not get him back till May 1st, that he could miss the entire month of April. That's a pretty big bunch of games to be missing. So between the Phillies and the Braves and the Mets, I think that all three of those teams look like 90-win teams to me. They were all 90-win teams last year, and I think they can be 90-win teams again because, sorry, Marlins fans, Marlins are going to be even worse this year than they were last year. Washington should be slightly better. Don't think they're going to be competing with the top three teams, but they might not be the easy mark they were last year. The NL East is going to be a great division this upcoming season. Robert from Annapolis up on the Infinity Sports Network. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Jody Mack, radio voice of Weekend Sports Talk. As always, thanks for taking my call. As an Orioles fan, your first hour was pretty rough on me, bringing back bad memories. You had one caller mention the 1969 Mets. I don't think we have to comment on that further. And then another caller was with the Pirates, and you were alluding to the 70s Pirates. It was actually the We Are Family was later in the 70s. I was 79. They came back from a 3-1 deficit with Willie Stargell and team to take that World Series. The early 70s was the Roberto Clemente, Steve Blass. Remember Steve Blass? Right. They actually came back from I think it was a 3-2 deficit to beat my Orioles. But on a positive note, the Phillies or the Philadelphia fan that called in Disappointments, Mike Schmidt in that 83 World Series where they were favored against the Orioles. Remember that?
A little bit of a payback. I know where you're going. I see where you're going.
Sports is going to go, is it? And they were the favored team, much better team probably. Won the first game, and the Orioles took the last 4. And Mike Schmidt only had 1 hit in that series, if I believe. It was a mere single as we took that one. But anyhow, we hadn't heard from Gary in Jacksonville, so if you're ready.
No.
If you're ready for the song list, I know we're up against the hour. You got time?
No. We got time. We got time for a list. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Now, remember last week when we set the clocks ahead, I gave you songs with time in the title, and I said I'd come back this week, and now we're 12 minutes from midnight, so what do we got? Songs with midnight in the title.
Midnight in the title. All right.
All right.
You got 6 of them?
I do.
I can think of about 2 off the top of my head, so I'm interested in the other 6.
Let's see if I hit them. Now I'm going to exclude Midnight Confessions by the Grassroots, Midnight at the Oasis by Maria Moldauer, and Midnight Blue by Lou Gramm, who was a Foreigner lead singer for a while. So we're going to go with this. Here we go. In the mid-'60s, even though it was you were a youngster at the time, a toddler actually, In the Midnight Hour by Wilson Pickett. I assume you're familiar with that.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now, here we go. Along with The Midnight Special by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yep.
Midnight Rambler by Your Rolling Stones.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Midnight Rambler. Midnight Rider by the Allman Brothers.
Yep.
By the way, the flip side to that song was Whipping Post.
Yes.
After Midnight, J.J. Cale song, actually Eric Clapton version is what I'm going with.
Ooh.
And Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight and the Pips, which actually was inspired by Farrah Fawcett. And I can tell you why if you want to know.
Yes, please.
Yes, a friend of Lee Majors, who was married to Farrah Fawcett, or Farrah Fawcett Majors at the time, called up and in a conversation, a late-night phone call, asked, hey, how's Farrah doing? She's on a midnight plane to Houston. But he changed that term to Midnight Train to Georgia and came up with that song.
Oh, don't know that. So you're educating us. You're giving us,
my friend,
giving us stuff to debate and to learn. All right. Yes, Midnight at the Oasis was one of the ones I thought you were going to put in the list. I'm so glad you didn't. It's a terrible song.
It's not a good song. So
it's
go with
awful.
The 6 I gave you, my friend.
The 6 you gave are all much better. I'm going to go from the bottom up, 6 up. Midnight Hour 6. Midnight Train to Georgia 5.
Yeah, they were pretty mediocre songs. All of them were.
Probably Sorry Stones. I just don't think Midnight Rambler is one of their better
one of their
tunes.
better songs.
No, it's not. So I'm going to put them at number 4.
But I know
Midnight Special 3. Top 2 are cut above.
Yeah.
I'm a big Allman Brothers fan, and like you said, it's the flip side to maybe one of their greatest songs ever.
Yep.
But Midnight Rider would be number 2 because after Midnight, Eric Clapton got to be number 1 on that list.
J.J. Cale wrote that song.
Okay. Didn't know it. I know Eric sung it, but
I'll chime in tomorrow. We got St. Patrick's Day. I'll kind of come up with some Irish thing or some green thing or something like that, okay?
There you go. That works for me.
And a shout-out to Gary in Jacksonville. I hope he's well. He usually calls you. He's the first caller normally, but I hope all is well with him. He's one of our favorite callers.
Exactly. Maybe a little busy tonight. Who knows? Gary, as always, in case you're new to the show, you're not a regular listener, Gary from Jacksonville makes it his business to be on the line before the show. Oftentimes it's before the show even starts. And I usually do a 14, 15-minute monologue, get my first break in, come back, start to take your calls. And Gary's always my leadoff hitter because he gets on early enough, and he's very good at jumping in early and getting the show rolling. He's got a music list as well, and I appreciate him whenever he checks in. But then when he doesn't, people get nervous. Like my guy, Robert from Annapolis. Hope he's okay. A couple weeks ago, I would say, and I had not had Gary as my first caller. Every once in a while, somebody will make it their business to get on even before Gary. I think they call while the previous show is on, just so they can get on hold to be the first caller, and then Gary will be second or third. But he'll get in. A couple of weeks ago, he didn't call in the first hour, didn't call in the second hour, and then kind of out of nowhere called after midnight on the East Coast and just said, sorry, I was busy, didn't get to the phone, but I forget what his explanation was. But he did call in, so hopefully Gary's just having a good time doing something else. We shall find out exactly what that is when he gets through either in the last 2 hours of the show or hopefully he'll be on tomorrow if he's not on tonight. What Gary may have wanted to talk about, I would have taken a Dolphin call from him because he's a diehard Dolphin fan. Zach Wilson? Really? That's what the Dolphins are worried about this offense? If Tua's going to get hurt, and oh, by the way, I'm a big Tua fan. You should know that. But he does have a tendency to get hurt. Turning it over to Zach Wilson as your backup QB? Miami needed to upgrade the position, not just bring in another guy that can't play. Sorry about that, Gary. Maybe that'll push enough to call. All right, we're going to talk plenty of NFL free agency frenzy with Mike Yam from the NFL Network. He jumps in with me next here on the Infinity Sports Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Your home for U of A football.
Nobody will catch him. Touchdown, Arizona.
Men's basketball.
Midcourt. Shot is up. Good.
And baseball.
Here comes the winning run. And the Cats have won it.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
Stars are shining down on Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle has more than 2,200 five-star Google reviews from across Arizona. Like these.
They go that extra mile to let you know they care. A wonderful experience.
They treat their clients like family, and their professionalism is the best in the business.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
Well said, everyone. After any accident, remember, deferred is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Enjoy up to 70% off premium products, designer handbags, gift cards from national chains, autographed sports memorabilia, cruises, hotel accommodations, and more. SweetDeals.com. Click Premium.
If your yard is the talk of the neighborhood, make sure it's for all the right reasons. Call Dorado Rock and Materials. For landscape gravel to boulders and everything in between, Dorado Rock and Materials will make sure you and your yard are covered.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
We are your home for all things Arizona basketball. 3 hours of pregame. They're not going to finish the season 19-1, guys. 2 hours of postgame.
I guarantee you, Coach told the guys don't come over and help on him.
And all the action in between. Wildcats Radio 1290.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
He was born Jody Anthony Aloysius McDonald Jr., but he would prefer it if you'd call him Jody Mack.
You could call me like Ralph, I guess, but I don't know that I would answer.
He's an optimist.
Every single day that I get up, I look on the bright side of life. But I do sprinkle in some realism from time to time.
And he can't believe he gets paid to do this.
It's just incomprehensible to me.
This is the Jody Mack Show.
We'll make many points. We got 4 hours. We better get a couple of points in.
Here's Jody Mack.
The Saturday night get-together here on the Infinity Sports Network. Man, it's been a busy week in the National Football League, free agency week, shopping week, so to speak. And one of my favorites to talk to when we go inside the NFL. You can watch him nightly on the NFL Network. And he's also an author. We'll talk about his writing capabilities in a little bit, but we'll start with the moves around the National Football League with Mike Yam of the NFL Network. Yeah, man, how you doing?
Jody Mack, always good to hear your voice, man. It's a crazy sports time, right? I mean, we got NCAA tournament around the corner with Selection Sunday. We got the chaos that is free agent frenzy. I feel like I was on set doing like all these hours, and it was a blur with all these deals that were going down.
It was quick shopping, and we'll break down some of the shopping in just a second. You said on studio a lot. Yeah, when I asked you to come on earlier this week, you're going, Jody, if I feel better by Saturday, I'm just grinding out here on the stage, night in, night out. You feeling better, brother?
Hopefully I get through this interview and you don't have like this coughing frenzy, but no, definitely feeling good. And I guess it kind of makes sense, right? Like it's just post Super Bowl, I was down in New Orleans for the HBCU Legacy Bowl, which is an amazing experience. Got sick down there. And then when I got back, like it didn't go away for like 3 weeks. And, like there's no time to be sick. And this, man, like it's go time. Like when free agency hits, you're going when you got, your shows that you got to do, like you got to just kind of suck it up.
That's Mike Yam. He can suck it up with the best of them here with us on the Infinity Sports Network. All right, let's try and put the shopping being done in the National Football League in a way that maybe some of our lady listeners would appreciate. The first couple of days, the legal tampering, and the first day of free agency is like shopping at Bergdorf's. It's going to cost. It's going to be quality, but it's going to cost big time. Next day comes down a little bit, maybe a little Macy's buying on day 3 and day 4. Now that we're almost a week done, I think we've gotten into Filene's Basement or TJ Maxx. Prices are coming down a little bit, but Bergdorf is where we start, and we always start with the quarterback position, and the biggest prize there was Sam Darnold going from the Minnesota Vikings to the Seattle Seahawks after, of course, Smith was traded, which means Seattle had an opening, so it did fit there, but he also left Minnesota with only a rookie quarterback to take over a team that won a whole bunch of games last year. What do you think about Darnold to Seattle?
So, I think there's a lot of tentacles to this story. And what's fascinating about it is, you're talking about a $100 million quarterback. You're talking about the high price ticket for NFL teams. And it's going to be at that quarterback spot. There was something that was said, and I think this is like a perception thing, and I'd love to get your take on this. But when we're doing the free agent frenzy shows on NFL Network, we're waiting for Sam Darnold because that's a huge domino, right? Because there's all this quarterback news, but once Sam goes in, like things sort of get slotted in after that. We saw Justin Fields deal within an hour after get announced. But the point is, it was someone on our network said like the prize, of the free agent class or something along those lines. And I paused when I heard it, and I said, wow, is that accurate? And then I thought to myself, well, we went like 90% of the season thinking that about Sam Darnold. And then you think about how it played out for him in those last, couple weeks of the season, and you go, like, hey, what is this? Like, what is the perception of this guy? I'm with you. I think that this is I don't know if I want to call this as an upgrade on the field from Geno Smith. Like, I think there's an argument that it is, but I do think this was a deal that made sense from a Seattle perspective, knowing what the contract is, knowing what Geno Smith wanted, knowing that you go get a draft pick for Geno in the mix. Like, I think there's the business side of this that makes sense for Seattle, but for most of last season, I was like, hey, Minnesota's going to be a perfect fit for him. He's going to go and get paid. He had success there. I think this is a no-brainer from Sam Darnold's perspective, but I do hedge, and I just think to myself, wow, what a difference, a bad couple games has made about how I perceive Sam Darnold.
And, oh, by the way, he was still the number one quarterback, even with those bad couple games at the end. And that makes him the hottest commodity of anyone in the draft because of the importance of the position. All right, let's talk about one of those tentacles. Geno Smith ending up in Vegas with the Raiders. It's understandable from the standpoint that his former coach is now coaching there, so that was a fit you could figure out. But we're also knowing that Tom Brady is a major mover and shaker after having become a minority owner of the team. What is Brady like about Geno Smith playing in Las Vegas? I thought they were going to look to make a bigger move than that. Geno is kind of a middle move. What do you make of it?
I'm with you. I actually thought that this was going to be a team that was thinking more, A, about Sam Darnold, or B, trying to leverage a position to move up in the draft. A year ago around this time, the thought was the Raiders were going to go and draft a quarterback. That obviously didn't happen. Oh, by the way, they ended up with Brock Bowers with that first overall pick that they had, not the overall pick, but their first pick in that first round. And that ended up playing really well for them. But this is a logjam right now. This is not what we would consider a great quarterback class. And I think a lot of people understand that. And there's some teams right now, 6 or 7 of them, heading into free agency about a week or so ago that needed a quarterback. And I think even the teams that are left trying to figure things out, are still wondering, how do we solidify, our position to get one of these guys? I think the Giants are a prime example of that. Like, they're in a little bit of a pickle here with that number 3 selection, because I don't know if that's good enough to move up. Look, if Bill Carter gets taken with the first overall pick, then they got an option there with Sanders or even a Cam Ward, who I think goes ahead of Shador. But depending on, what happens at 1 and 2, the Giants are in a little bit of a tough spot. But I think getting back to your question about the Raiders, I think when they decided to hire Pete Carroll, and you heard him at his press conference make reference to this not being a rebuild and an opportunity to win right now, I think a lot of us sort of raised our eyebrows and said, really, like, is this roster ready at this point of the season? Well, they went all in. They signed Max Crosby to the biggest deal that we've seen, up until, a couple hours later when Myles Garrett got his, or a day later when Garrett got his. But the point is, like, this organization is trying to make moves. And I think Pete looked at and assessed the situation and said, hey, given what we have right now, what is our best path to winning? And he felt like, hey, the experience that he's had with Geno was good enough for him to go and pull the trigger on that move. I think it's bold, though, Jody, right? Like, this, and it's not an NFL thing. I think this is a sports thing. You either want to be great or bad. When you're, like, consistently kind of in the middle, in no man's land, you're not good enough necessarily to go and win a Super Bowl. And maybe this is more appropriate for a team like the Steelers might be a good example of that. The Raiders have had some real struggles the last couple campaigns, and I think you could point to, inconsistent play at the quarterback spot as maybe the reason why. But at the end of the day, I think Pete just said, look, I got my guy, and if we can keep the turnovers to a minimum, and that was a problem for Geno last year, we got ourselves a chance.
All right, since you brought up the Giants, I want to go there next. Two teams, and you also brought up the Steelers. Two teams that basically are looking for a starting quarterback. Giants had the number 3 pick in the draft, but will that get him one of the top 2? Nobody knows. So they are certainly in the market for a veteran. There are two very well-known veterans with Super Bowl experience left on the open market. That would be Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. They both met with the Steelers. They both met with the Giants. Is it a given that one's going one way and the other's going another, or can something crazy come in the middle here?
So here's where I net out on this, and maybe it's because, and Jody, you know this, like I grew up in New Jersey and New York, so I am a Giants fan. And as free agency, you're sitting on these sets and you're working, you're doing like these 4-hour shows and you're waiting on the Aaron Rodgers news. And Rodgers is one of those figures, a little bit like talk radio too, right? Like his name is going to resonate with an audience and you're going to spend a lot of time talking about him. And, we have our insiders coming on and it's like, we're kind of joking around, like, when's Rodgers going to make his decision? It wasn't going to come on day one, and we get that. Like, hey, that was the Sam Darnold and Justin Fields news. Kind of assumed it was going to happen the next day. And then when the next day came around and it didn't happen, we said, hey, is it today? And then our insiders were telling us, and remember Ian Rappaport saying this to me, hey, like, this is not like a huge rush for Rodgers, and the Giants are willing to be patient. And I remember off camera saying to Bucky Brooks, who's my analyst, I'm like, man, I don't know how patient you can be, because you got to figure out what direction you're going to go. If it's Russ, cool. If it's Aaron, or if it's in the draft. And now there's these reports that the Giants are becoming a little bit more frustrated with this timeline with Rodgers. I would tell you this, like, what do you think you're going to get with this situation? And shame, and I shouldn't say it like this, but maybe it's the only way that I can characterize it. There's a lot of things, and I'll use the quotes around things, that come with Rodgers being on your roster. And the Giants should know what that actually entails. We all watched it nationally on Hard Knocks, but they're in that damn same city. They're sitting there reading the New York Post and the Daily News like you and I used to do back in the day when we were working together in New York, Jody. Like, they understand what comes with Aaron Rodgers. So if you anticipated a quick decision because he had told you that, then I can understand why there would be frustration. But, if there was no timeline that was set, I kind of feel like this is what you're going to expect. This is maybe a microcosm of what happens if you do end up with Aaron Rodgers on your roster. And I'd also contend, are the Giants and Aaron Rodgers away from being a winning organization? My answer would be no, and I think there's some real fundamental issues here with how the G-men are currently set up. I love the moves that they made in their secondary. Paulson Adebo is a guy that I watched very closely when I worked at Pac-12 Networks at Stanford. Freak athlete. I think he's a stud. Javon Holland, also premier guy in that secondary. It solidifies the back half of that defense, and I think those are huge wins. But when the organization said Joe Shane and Brian Daboll are coming back, what did Mara say? Hey, this is a team that needs to win right now. Well, how do you win right now? Is it with a rookie quarterback? Like, I would contend the outlier situations of Jaden Daniels and C.J. Stroud are exactly that. They're outlier situations. It's not likely rookie quarterbacks come in and are like all worlds right out of the gate. So if that's the case, I think there's some pressure right now on this organization to say, hey, maybe we need that veteran guy so that we win this season. Is that good for the long-term health of that organization? I don't know. But like, how much legs does Rodgers have now? Is he your quarterback for the next 3 seasons? I would say probably not. And I'd say the same thing if it was Russell Wilson. So I think the Giants right now are in a very, very tough position.